Alrighty, we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to Planeshifters Part 4. If you're joining us, welcome. If this is your first time, I'm really excited. If you don't know, our heroes have accidentally ended up in the world of Ravnica. And, of course, the giant city of Elturel has entered with a bang, crushing a lot of Precinct 1 in Elturel. Our
Other
heroes
things.
our heroes were met well, not met with nice reception when they arrived, being attacked by insectoid creatures. They have since studied and learned the language so they could communicate with the people of Ravnica in the language our great Zorax has just identified as Ravnican, because common is already taken. Our heroes have
I voted new common, but it's okay.
our heroes have made an agreement with the Boros Legion to meet with the Azoria Senate. They have been chosen to represent the city of Elturel. During their travels through the city plain of Ravnica, they have found themselves, even with the defense of the Boros Legion, under attack by soldiers bearing the mark of a black and white sunburst logo upon their equipment. Soldiers are surrounding them. There's buildings of 4, 5, 6 stories high on all sides. Battle is ensuing along these alleys in this main thoroughfare. The screams of dying are all around you, and the Boros captain is quickly giving out orders. Everyone, take up a defensive perimeter, and he starts shouting out different commands. You see kind of the Boros Legion moving in defense, but as they are, arrows, spells, sword are just clanging and slashing and exploding all around you guys. As this is going on, Zorax, what do?
Uh, so we're just surrounded by knights, right?
Yes, the Boros Legion is surrounding you, but that doesn't mean that you're not immune to incoming strikes and attacks.
No, for sure. Okay. Um,
You're in the middle of this thoroughfare that's probably 60 or to 80 feet wide,
okay.
with buildings every couple of every 20 30 feet, with little tiny alleys in between.
Okay. Is there any like enemy soldiers that are in those buildings that I can see?
Yes, you can see arrows, crossbolts, spells being flung from windows, from the sides of buildings, from the roof of buildings. Everywhere you look, there is enemies
Somebody,
striking.
huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is civilians running around that are also unfortunately being hit in the kind of crossfire. Um, the captain is kind of distracted trying to give commands to his soldiers. So you have an opportunity to decide what your next approach is. There is a squad of soldiers moving in directly towards you guys, pushing towards your front, but they're a good medium distance away.
I kind of just say to everybody, uh, there's too many lines of sight in all these windows and buildings that seem to be against us. We need to find a way to get into an alleyway or something where we won't get pelted by arrows and spells.
Anybody
And
yeah, anybody else
yeah,
got anything to say about that?
we need to get out of enemy fire.
I agree. Let's move.
And then I guess I will inform the Boros captain the same information. Since I can speak to him fluently now.
Yep. I agree with that, Zorax. He starts giving you three, create a perimeter, block it off. We're gonna retreat and take a side path over here. Follow Zorax's lead. And you give me a perception check.
Okay. I was gonna say I run that direction since I assume he knows probably better than I do. Let's see here. 16.
So as you're looking around, you try to take an assessment. You know that you've got to get out of the line of fire, and you immediately spot 3 standing alleyways that jump out at you. One seems to have a big muscular spellcaster. I know that sounds weird, but a very athletic person channeling crackling lightning. You can see he's got this like gold-plated chest piece with like a big jewel in the center, and the golden chest piece has lines shooting out from it, kind of like a sunburst, right? And he's standing there. He's got a long, probably 2 foot long dagger in one hand, and you can see lightning, this black lightning jumping from his dagger up to his palm and out, lashing out at the creatures or the soldiers around you. You look down another one, and you see a line of 3 archers wearing these nice little like I want to say it's like a cloak, but there's not a front. It's almost like a cape, but it comes down partially in front of the chest, and they've got black hoods hidden over them. Once again, they're wearing a light golden breastplate with a embossed like sun on it, expanding out. And they are drawing fire and loosing arrows. And then in the third one, you see a very strange sight. You see this very bulky looking elephant standing on its hind legs with a massive trunk and massive tusks, rearing out. And he has it has a massive hammer, and it is just plowing and smashing into the soldiers in front. You see humans and like halfling creatures being tossed left and right by this monstrous thing. Which one of these paths do you want to rush towards?
I will rush towards the one with the singular spellcaster. the jacked spellcaster. I will run towards him.
So you point over to the jacked spellcaster. I love that. And then as you start heading that way, Jara starts giving out commands. He does kind of the back and forth motions with his hands. You know he's giving commands without really necessarily talking. Instantly, all the Boros soldiers kind of create like the flying V, right? The wedge shape right behind you as you start heading that way.
Am I engaged with the spellcaster?
I was going to say it's a medium distance away. So you can move up to, hang on a second. With the soldiers in front of you, you can move just your normal speed. So you would have to use a dash to get to them or hit them with a range attack. But you can get within a short distance in one turn. Because remember, you left the thoroughfare to run towards the sides, and plus they were forming up ranks. So they'll smash into them before you do.
As like we're running up towards them, and I draw my blade, I point at him, and in Celestial, I tell him surrender as I use the command spell.
Ooh, I like that.
Ace.
Ooh. He got a 13.
Yeah, he failed.
Okay.
Yeah, he failed.
So this crackling lightning is leaping from his hands. He sees a glint of you as the soldiers are rushing, and the crackling just kind of disperses from his hands, and he kind of looks for a second, and he starts to kind of shake it off. And at that point, the line of soldiers smashes into him. And you see this crackling black and purple energy shield around them as they start slashing and swinging their swords, and they're cracking on this shield. They haven't penetrated it yet, but you see him just holding up his hands as they're still swatting, but they're hitting this barrier. What else? Anything else?
Nope. That was it.
All right. Merle had a 12, so that means this. Let me get these in order. I was busy with the other thing a second here. Does anybody have any questions before I go any further? Is the scene set pretty good? Chaos?
I think so.
Suffering? All that jazz?
Are there, did we say there are like innocent people just hanging around the streets caught in this?
Well, they're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're not
I
hanging
have
around.
ignored them.
They're fleeing in all directions,
Okay.
but they are dying and they are being struck down. It doesn't look like they're actively trying to attack them, but it's more or less that they're collateral
Crossfire.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with bolts of fire, hitting buildings and the buildings come crashing down. Chunks of the buildings are falling and. Static electricity. The electricity isn't really super controlled, so
Right,
nearby
yeah.
people are kind of eating some of that. All right, so with that, I need everyone to give me a dexterity saving throw to avoid the massive bolts of lightning that are leaping from the rooftops from the spellcasters that are circled out around this ambush site.
I rolled a 20.
Of course you did.
I got a 13.
That's not good.
4.
DC is 14, so
21.
21. All right, DC is 14. So it is 21 points of lightning damage as the lightning from the this black lightning is crackling around and manages to strike a few of you. Half damage for a success, as some of you are able to duck behind poor innocent people or duck behind a Boros Legion soldier as they just go zzz and get shocked from these kind of just constant bursts of energy being leapt out. Several civilians just collapse and their bodies are twitching on the ground. And you hear Captain Jara, you, and he calls one of his lieutenants. Lieutenant, grab many of the civilians as you can and get them into hiding immediately. Meanwhile, the rest of us, out of line of sight, follow Zorax. And he's given the commands and everyone, it's a very slow movement as everyone's trying to get that way. As these attacks go on and on. How long does that surrender last?
Actually, let me look.
Till the start or end of his turn, because he's next.
Or follow the command on its next turn.
Okay, so it basically
So-
is stopped for this turn then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's still, you can see it as you look into this person's eyes, this bulky spellcaster, you can see kind of confusion and anger on his face. It's like he's angry, but he's not sure about what. And he's not sure why he's doing what he's doing. And several of the blades of the soldiers do connect, and you can see him scraping across his armor. The gem cracks. His arm has blood running down it from the soldier's assault. You've opened up an opportunity. You see one soldier come in with a Boros soldier come in with a big great axe, and as he smashes into it, the shield that's around him cracks and gives away, and you see him deliver a really good blow, and he manages to kind of block it right at the last second, but it does take a big, it does leave a deep gash in his shoulder. Merle.
All right. And I believe you said we were in an urban environment, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to do my usual thing and manifest my arcane turret.
Okay. Do you want to describe how that appears and what it looks like for everyone?
Basically think of like a small derringer but with spider legs, and it basically clamps down on my shield that I have in my left hand.
Very cool.
And here's what I plan on doing. I am going to fly up to a rooftop and perch up there to try to get a general lay of the land to see if I can see anything different up there than what I see on the ground.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 21.
So as your boots ignite, wait, are they like, they're not flame, right? They're just like anti-gravity? I don't remember, sorry.
More or less.
I thought they were winged boots.
Yeah, there's no fire.
They are, but
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is, but I always say that more like as spurs, but anyway.
Yeah, so you got sparks coming, you click your heels together, your spurs ignite with sparkles coming out of them. Sparks, not sparkles. As you jump into the air, you start looking around, taking in the chaotic scene around you. Soldiers battling these warriors wherever they came from, and you spot a single rooftop that doesn't appear to have any spellcasters cropped atop of it. But on the third floor, which is 2 floors below the rooftop because it's a 5th floor, you do see a archer with a crossbow taking aim towards Jara as you are, or towards what looks like Jara. It could be Zorax, you're not exactly sure, as you're heading up towards the top of that rooftop.
I'm gonna take a shot at them because why not?
All right, give me an attack roll with your blaster.
Okay.
Is that right? With your little arm cannon or with your ally, your little arm turret? Gun or arm turret?
The turret, because I can at least do that as a bonus action.
Yep.
Can't quite say the same thing for everything else.
That's true.
Good. Oh. Yeah, that's 13, so I'm going to drop in the human aptitude that I got to boost it.
Okay.
And make it 18.
All right, that's going to hit.
Okay, and that's going to hit for 15 force damage and knock them back 5 feet.
It is a very good thing that I had actually learned language of this place because command requires you to understand their
Understand
language.
them, yeah. I knew that.
I didn't know that, so I'm very happy that that worked out that way. I just looked again, I'm like, oh shit.
All right,
Yeah.
what was the damage there?
15 force damage, and they're knocked back, I believe it was 5 feet.
Yep. All right. So as you're shooting up, you see this cloaked, slightly cloaked figure with this golden breastplate taking aim through a crossbow. She, as you look now, you can tell that she's got long hair. She's scoping out. She looks like she's about to take out. You can see her squeezing on the trigger. You pull out your shield. Your little turret on the top does a little transformer thing, pops up, releases a big blast, and smashes into her. And all you hear is a as she flies back, and you can hear a slightly crash sound into the window. It's dark inside, so you can't see past the opening of the window. Are you going to continue to the top of the roof, or are you going to go in and take a peek or something?
I'm going to keep going to the top.
All right, so then you shoot back up. You land pretty. You land pretty, or you're hovering just above the roof? Are you going to land and try to take cover, or are you just going to kind of float towards the top of the roof and stay there?
I'm going to float towards the top. And like I said, my idea was to more survey the area.
All right, go ahead and give me give me a perception check.
Different one?
Uh-huh. The first one was just look for a solid place to land. All right, so now that you've got a good overview, you can tell right now that in this situation, the attackers are actually much fewer than it seems from on the ground. The soldiers clearly outnumber them. The difference is the positioning, from the fact that they're shooting from the rooftops, from windows, from alleys, is giving the illusion that it's bigger than they are. It's probably a quarter of the size of the Legion. The problem is they're being routed behind Zorax towards a single alley at the moment. You do spot that there might be an opportunity if you do it right. It appears that in the distance you can see one of these golden chest-plated cloaks appears to not be shooting anything. As you look, they're either moving their hands for some sort of spell casting, or they're giving some sort of commands. They are a long distance away.
Okay. All right. I mean, I would yell the general layout, but they probably wouldn't understand what they would be saying, would they?
Well, you don't speak the language. You only
Exactly.
you need that's not going to help. But you could pass that information to somebody else. But over the go ahead.
Zorax close enough to hear me.
Close enough. You flew 5 stories up, so you would have to yell pretty loud, and there's a battle raging with crackling lightning. So there's a chance, but it seems like it would be hard. He'd be hard pressed to hear you.
That's fair. Okay.
All right. With that, Cecil, you just saw your new friend Merle click his boots together and fly up, pot shot somebody in a window, and then appears to be overlaying or watching over the chaos like a hawk eye. You see Zorax leading a V-shaped contingent as Jara is giving commands. There is a big elephant man just plowing through the front ranks on the flank, and people are releasing bolts of lightning and arrows and swords are aplenty. What do you do? Or what does Cecil do?
Well, Cecil, being an old man, is going to do everything in his power to stay within the V of the Boros Legion.
All right.
Um,
So, as you are dashing to get within this V, you can clearly make sense that they are trying to get out of line of sight of the arrows and the crackling magic. As you're running through, several soldiers on the right flank of the V are engaged by several other of these golden, white, black soldier guys with the sunburst crests. And one of the attackers does fall, and the other two are currently engaged with the other attacker as you're making your way towards the alleyway where Zorax is.
okay. I did prepare a firebolt before
Yep,
we
yep.
did the last session.
Yep.
So I am going to release that on the attacker that's still pushing the flank.
All right, because you prepped that, I'm going to go ahead and give you advantage on that attack roll.
All right.
Because I probably should have let you go first, but we never actually established a trigger. So I think advantage will
Yeah.
help that.
I got a nat 20.
Woo! Doggy. That's what I'm talking about.
Awesome.
All right. Roll me some
That's okay.
damage.
Probably got effed up.
That is a lot of damage. I got a 31.
That will hurt.
damage. Yeah, 31 damage on the attacker.
So, you take on like a power pose. This energy rushes around your body, and you strike a punch in the air, and you see this like distorted air. A ball of air leap from his fist as it smashes this thing right in its armor, and the armor explodes, and the guy is knocked back on his ass, and the soldiers that are fighting him are just looking like, and they do a slow look towards Cecil, and you can just see this kind of sizzling energy dying down on top of him, and he's holding that thrown punch position.
Just add, I'm good at punching.
In my mind, you punched the air so hard you created like a shockwave. You know what I mean?
So
like,
just kind of
All
looks
Might.
over like. I'm gonna keep note of that one.
So
Write
that
that
was.
down in my mental notebook.
So you still have a bonus action? Is there anything you want to do with that?
Oh, I did not think that far ahead, which I should have.
That's
I got
okay.
so excited with the crazy crit.
Hey, I understand.
I think I'm just going to use my bonus action to just get into a defensive spot within the wedge.
Okay. So
Yep.
with that, you pull up along just behind Zorax, as he's leading the rear leading from the rear, I guess. As he's charging towards this large spellcaster who you saw the energy just kind of poof out of his hands, and you can just see a look of confusion in this thing's hands. Garmor, you just saw Cecil run towards following up behind Garmor. Not Garmor, behind Zorax. This energy engulfed him. He threw a punch at the air and sent a powerful impacting blow across the gap and just sent one of these guys flinging. What does Garmor do?
How far away are our attackers on the ground?
They are a short distance away now. They get closer every turn.
Okay. I like to head them off, and I'm gonna do that by casting my 3rd level spell. This is my first time doing this, and I don't know how this is gonna work out. 3rd level spell, Conjure Animals. I'm gonna summon a pack of 8 wolves.
Okay, that's really good. I like that. So,
The range of their summoning is 60 feet. Unoccupied spaces, of course, that I can see within range.
ooh. Where do you want them to appear?
Ah.
Do you want to give me a
Let's see.
perception check and I'll feed you some information?
I have a passive perception of 20.
Okay, I'll go with that. So, as you're looking around, you begin harnessing the energy for this spell. You can feel the cool breeze the touch you've come to know from the energy of the natural world. It seems a little off. There's something off about it. You can't quite tell, but this, just like all the other magic you've been using, it's a little. There's something off about it. You can't tell what it is, but it doesn't seem to be a problem. As you harness this energy, you spot an open spot where one of the Boros Legion soldiers released a thundering shockwave that created a big opening just behind the back rear flank of the soldiers, of the attacking soldiers.
They just released a shockwave on the attacking soldiers that are rear.
At their rear. So they're heading towards you. The shockwave appeared behind their flank. You can reach up, you can summon up to 60 feet. So there's a place you can summon that'll attack the enemy from behind.
Ooh. Yeah, let's do that. Let's summon a pack of wolves right behind our attackers. Our incoming attackers.
All right, so you channel this natural energy. Your body seems to glow faintly with the green aura for just a moment as the energy is released. A image appears in the sky almost like a moon, just a full moon for just an instant, and you hear just the sound of howling wolves, a pack of howling wolves, as almost like a rift appears in that open spot as they come dashing through it, in this almost a spectral form until they step foot in this realm and then take on the form of or take on a more corporeal form. And you can see this kind of wisps of green smoke-like light floating off of them as they begin howling. And they immediately begin ravaging your targets. Do they go on your initiative or do they go on another one?
Well, here's the information.
forgot.
The summoned creatures are friendly to me and my companions. Roll initiative for the summoned creatures as a group, which has its own turns. They obey any verbal commands that I issue to them. No action required by me. If you don't issue any commands to them, they defend themselves from hostile creatures, but otherwise take no actions.
Right. All right. So, they actually did pretty well. So they're gonna get up there pretty high. All right. So they start just kind of pouncing on nearby. This is so funny. They begin pouncing on some of the soldiers, grabbing them by their teeth and kind of pulling them away, and are all pouncing on the same person. So instead of scattering, they're attacking as a pack. You can see several of them circling around. You can see a look of surprise and horror as the soldiers kind of break. The attackers break formation and start kind of just swinging wildly and trying to get away from these ravenous creatures. And they'll actually
Imagine
but
I was gonna say, imagine just running in a straight path, right? You're going down this road, and suddenly, without any word of caution or notice, there's just a giant pack of wolves behind you.
that's
What
terrifying.
a horrible time.
Right?
Oh, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. If I had casted this at 5th level, the numbers would be doubled.
Ooh.
Just an army of wolves.
All right. Is there anything else from Garmore?
I'd like to use my movement to get in deeper in the formation.
All right, so you end up dashing and pulling up just behind Cecil after you've conjured these. You've created quite the little distraction as your wolves are viciously assaulting these poor people. The other soldiers are now that the surprise is kind of over, they're kind of they've got their wits about them. Swords are fully drawn, shields are formed up. There is kind of a form that what was once chaos is becoming more orderly at this point. The crackling of lightning and energy continues. Everyone give me a dexterity saving throw.
Son of a gun. That last one took out 20% of my hit points.
Doesn't that suck?
It's like that.
Okay, this is better than last time.
14 on the dot. Meet and beat, baby.
Yep.
Okay, I rolled 11, but I can pump it up to 16 if I have to, which is
Yeah,
no big
14's
deal.
the DC, so.
I got a
I'm gonna
17.
use a brilliant. I'm gonna bump it up to 16.
I rolled a 19 total.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Cecil, you're next to me, aren't you?
What did
I'm
Cecil
right
get?
next to you. 17.
All right, so if you failed to save, the crackling lightning is you've got soldiers around you just falling, zapped. You can the smell of charred meat is filling the air. Their armor is conducting, and the black lightning is just surging through everyone's body. You guys are ducking behind and doing your best to avoid what you can, but because as the lightning strikes, it splits and cracks. You're not able to escape all of it. And on if you failed the saving throw, you take 18 points of lightning damage, or half as much on a success. Zorax, you are leading the charge. Jorah just caught up to you, and he looks at you and he says, "We have to go faster. They're everywhere. I don't know. We have to get you to the Azorius Senate. I cannot believe that they made a move like this in such an open area. We have to get through." And he starts giving more and more commands. "We'll follow you." What do you do?
I assume that I know where I need to go.
Yeah, you're heading right towards the guy that you commanded to surrender.
Yeah.
He's engaged with other soldiers right now. But
Well-
that's the general way you're going. So you can get up and help them, or you can try to help some bystanders, which I doubt you will, or you can look around for another target if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run up to that guy and I'm gonna hit him.
All right.
Do,
Hit him.
do what I do best.
All right. Go ahead.
Be a man made of meat. All right. Attack number 1. That's a fucking fail. Holy. Well,
Wow.
I say that, but does a 16 hit?
No, it does
Okay.
not.
I rolled a
Shield.
4.
I was like, that's not gonna do it. Nice try though. What else you got?
Another attack.
Yep, go ahead.
This time it's 31. So much better.
Yeah, okay. I'm
Yeah,
just
it's a
thinking,
31 to hit.
shield's not even gonna stop that.
Yeah, it's nope, not this time. I'm crushing through it.
He wouldn't know that though, so I'm gonna say he would still use his reaction to cast shield. Okay, so go ahead and roll damage.
You gonna smite
Okay.
him?
How good does this guy look? Does
Oh,
he look
he's
fairly healthy yet?
yeah, he's standing, he's vigorous, he's got energy, he's surprisingly durable for somebody who's flinging lightning bolts.
Well, I'm gonna wield this one with 2 hands, and I'm gonna hit his head in with a level.
A what? A slovel?
Oh, a
Is that
level.
like
Yeah.
is that like a shovel
I'm gonna hit
with a
him with a
level
level-
on it?
I'm gonna hit him with a level 2 smite.
Okay.
3d8.
Which is, yeah. It's time to inflict pain. My favorite part of the day.
Ooh. Nice.
Alright, go kill him again.
Here I go killing again.
Here I
Where's
go.
my D10?
again.
Technically, it's self-defense.
Yeah,
And?
sure. uh, let's see.
Let's go with that.
That is an extra. We'll go. Do you want me to just? Is he resistant to radiant damage or anything that I'm aware of? 'Cause
no,
I'll tally up the. Well, I guess I wouldn't know.
you
I would
wouldn't
just
know
tell
that,
you the
but
number.
you're out. You're not. Yeah,
I'm trying to
not.
like help you, so I don't give you just 2 numbers.
I appreciate that.
plus that plus
Wait,
how much does
you.
this sword do?
I don't know. I gave you the stats for that.
No, I know. I have to scroll back up to it. Oh, there it is.
Oh, I thought you were asking me. I
hold
was like,
on.
I don't have that open right now.
He was asking out loud.
For a total of 27 points of damage.
Ooh, that's good.
I just
I like that.
crushed
So,
into him.
well, hey, don't get too super excited there, Jimmy. There. All right. So,
I know what you're
as you come charging in with your sword, the black energy. It's still black, right? Because it used to be white, right? This glowing orange. You hear this as you swing your blade in a horizontal strike. So as you're charging, one of the soldiers that the Orzhov guy is fighting, he shoves him back to the side, but you don't. All you see is like a black energy, and the guy goes flying to the side, and that gives you the open for you to charge in. You release a barrage of strikes, and you are surprised to find another fully regenerated crackling black shield kind of appear out of nowhere, and your first blow as you hit it, it's like swinging your hammer into steel, and your whole hand thrums with the thrumming from the blow. And as it comes off, you see a slight crack, and you get a little smile on your face, and he has a look of, oh shit, just as you do a thrust right through the same part of the shield, and the energy crackles and shatters like glass as you penetrate, shoving a blast or your blade right into his upper chest, narrowly missing his vital organs. And he blood kind of spews out a little bit, and he, you can understand him.
I can't understand what he's saying.
Hang on, yes, give me a second. Okay. I was just gonna say he says something, but you have went out of the way to learn
He's
the
gonna
language.
Zorax's mother.
Oh, that would be great. But he doesn't know
Oh, yeah.
Zorax's mother, so that would be kind of.
I was trying to make a
Too
reference to
old
the
school.
previous campaign.
Yeah, when they kept
Yeah.
trying to
Oh
talk
yeah,
about my
I
mother.
do. Yeah, I do remember. I
and
forgot
I
about
kept on.
that.
I was like, that motherfucker, he's talking about my mom again.
I
I'm
forgot
totally lying about it.
And everyone's just saying like, I love it when he's ready for battle. They just talk about his mom.
Bro, what's he saying about the demon saying about me? He's insulting your mom. No one insults my mom.
Got a second.
Zorax is a mother's boy, just so everyone knows.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there is, but it makes you less manly, doesn't it? That's what I was told. Is that not
Yeah,
true?
It's kind of dumb.
It'd be
Wow,
nice if that's
toxic
not-
masculinity, anybody?
Yeah, wow, I
Right.
can't believe her DM. What's he saying? to
okay,
me?
so he says, "You alien scum! Do you know how many people you killed with that assault? You'll pay for your suffering, or you'll pay for our suffering."
Yeah.
He says in a very deep throat, and he's almost kind of, you can tell a bit. You understand the language, but getting the intonations and stuff is not perfect. But you do understand that he's got some sort of pent up revenge for what has happened, and he kind of begins to spew a lot of, "Our families are dead because of you. You will all die. We will burn you all to ashes and dump you in the Golgari's underworld." And with that, are you?
I
anything
tell
else?
him, you know, when I first came here, some called me Planeswalker. What does that mean to you?
Give me an intimidation check.
It's big, over 30.
He takes a step back, and a look of pure shock is on his face.
Alien? I think not.
Anything else?
No, that's it. That was just fun to kind of poke at him for a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, get him, I get it.
As I stabbed him.
Right, I see what you did there. So with that, just for a moment, Zorax, you hear the howling of what sounds like a pack of wolves, and you can't help but have your attention drawn just
look
for a
over there.
second. You look over and you just see several of these wolves just pouncing on. They're dragging these people away. You hear them screaming and bellowing, and where did they come from? How did they get behind us? As they're being dragged away.
They're opening the doors. It's another stupid old school YouTube reference.
Um,
Oh god, the wolves are opening the doors.
and you look up, and the gray coats are just coated in blood, and you see soldiers not just the enemy, but some of the Boros Legion are kind of like looking like they've kind of halted their attack in confusion, and you can see in their mannerisms that they're a little uncomfortable and unsure of what to do.
Yeah,
With
so there's
that,
savagery going on.
Darmor would have designated the Boros Legion as.
Well,
that's
I mean,
putting us
yes,
at
but they don't know that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a giant pack of wolves that just came
That
out
are
of
devouring
nowhere.
and eating people. Yeah.
Oh, I
Killing
should've
your
added my
enemies
bird.
mercilessly.
And they sure don't understand what you're saying, so it's even more confusing.
Yeah, you just spouted some nonsense and wolves just appeared, and that's what they saw.
Oh man, I should have talked to Cecil and had them translate for me.
It's okay. Too late.
How
So
far of a distance is that from me? Can I tell from my soul sword?
It's a
that I'm
short-
like, oh shit.
it's a short distance or a medium distance, so probably 60 feet or so.
Yeah, that means I see just a bunch of pings that I just feel. I'm like, what on earth?
You can see everybody just being destroyed.
Just bodies
so
being
with
thrown
that,
out.
oh my god.
Yeah, I can see all the souls within 60 feet, by the way. So, good luck surprising me, I suppose.
Oh no.
What are you doing, DM?
Or more like, what is happening?
Zorax. Well, let's see what happens first. I don't want to get too excited.
Oh boy!
It just occurred to me I might have just messed up potential. No, I'm gonna go through it because he would do this. All right, so he says, "Planeswalker, you say." He kind of stutters a little bit. Then return to your home and reaches out, and you feel a powerful energy surging, rushing through your body. I need you to give me.
I know what's happening!
I need you to give me a charisma saving throw or be
I know
banished.
exactly what's happening.
What is happening?
Oh,
I might be gone, guys. It depends.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
I got a 20.
Oh, thank God.
oh. Oh, yeah.
That one didn't really occur to me at all until I was reading
No, that's
it.
so funny.
Was he about to cast banishment on Zorax?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did
was
cast
back
he
to
did
the
cast
material
management.
realm. Yeah.
So your
Yeah.
body begins stretching and pulling, and you can see flashes of the world of what looks like images of Faerun, somewhere important to you. Where is the place that's important to you? What is it you see in this kind of translucent distortion in reality around you?
I see the house that me and my wife have, and I'm like, oh,
And you see her out front.
she's alive.
Well, you see her
Oh my
sitting there, right?
She's alive. Oh my god.
And it's just for a flicker for an instant, and then it's gone. And a look of surprise kind of appears on his face. He says, hang on a second, I gotta check. Okay, he goes,
Just forget how dangerous the banish spell can be in this campaign.
yes!
it's kinda scary.
It just occurred to me, like, I hadn't even thought of that at all. It just was on his spell list. Shit. With that, that's his action. You hear him shout and scream, and he basically says, hang on, I need something really quick.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to say something,
Yes, yeah.
cause I'm ready for kind of a response. Cause he just showed me my wife, so I have to thank him before I kill him.
So you see, he shouts, Elrir, it didn't work. You said it would work. If I die, I'm gonna haunt you. And that's the end of his turn.
I tell him, did you really think you had enough power to send me away? Although I have to thank you.
We thought you
Show me my
wanted
wife is
to.
alive.
We thought you'd be grateful to be returned.
Well,
He looks and he's kind of confused and very furious.
I would like everyone to return, not just me. I don't have enough power to do that.
He's breathing really heavily.
Understood that. I would have insight checked him.
There's a lot
It's not
going
as if
around
I
at the
really
moment.
want to fight you.
Yeah.
You just happen to be in the way.
Is
With
this
that,
the guy with a sword sticking out of him?
well, it was in and out. I don't think he left it
Yeah,
there. I didn't
kinda
leave
hit
it
him
there.
within- Yeah.
Pull in and he pushed him out, all that jazz. All right, so with that, the lightning is crackling. The energy changes. So instead of it, several of the chanters start chanting something else. Are you trained in Arcana, Cecil or Zorax or anybody
I
trained in
am not
Arcana that
trained.
understands the language?
I am not trained, unfortunately.
No. Hindsight, as a person that tried to trade notes with Zorax here on the link. Anyway,
It's like that.
Would you like to do that moving forward?
It probably would be a good idea.
So, because right now he's kind of him and Cecil are kind of the translators.
Which is always
Right,
kind
I
of
mean-
fun.
I mean,
all
I
right.
was focusing on rebuilding these city walls, so.
And that was also part of it, right? All right. So with that, the energy changes. The spells that they're channeling become different, and you see them all the spellcasters. They hold out their hands, and you start seeing this small dark blob form in the center of the thoroughfare, and it begins to grow and grow and grow. It's kind of like a sun, but it's like got a dark energy. It's releasing black light. Yeah, kind of matches
Yeah, sun.
their chest, right? And they begin chanting as this thing is growing, and a look of pure horror appears on Jareth's face. He says, "They wouldn't! In the middle of the city? Are you nuts?" Though everywhere's in the middle of the city here, I guess.
Yeah, but in the
Um,
middle of the townspeople, I suppose.
he holds up a hand and starts doing a hand wave thing, and you can see the Boros Legion are starting to all start to scatter in different directions away from this energy, and with the flick of their wrist, the energy comes dropping down and explodes in a massive black ball of not fire but something similar. Of necrotic void energy that just rocks through the city, or through the city thoroughfare. I need everyone to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, stink.
I'm not going to roll this by hand. That's too much to roll by hand.
I'm assuming it's 14 is normal.
What happened to
Yes.
my dice?
I got a 21. Zorax just kind of puts out his hand as he's trying to like divert like away like a wedge, as he's just like holding his hand from it because he's an Asmar, so he
I
can
rolled
do
a 7.
that.
Have I said how much I love just typing in 10d6 into Google and it rolling for me sometimes? That's so
Mhm.
convenient.
10d6.
Yeah,
That's a lot
it's
of
kind of
damage.
it's kind of like Fireball. I mean, just a little higher level.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess.
yeah, 86 is Fireball.
Yeah, it's
That's
not.
a
I
third
rolled
level spell.
14. I
Okay.
rolled a 14, so I barely like throw my staff into the ground and just deflect it away from me just in time.
So, did anybody fail? No.
Uh,
Okay.
Oh,
you did
he
that.
failed.
So it's
Ooh.
it's 38 damage if you failed, half as much on a success, as this necrotic energy leaps out from the center area. This dark black stuff. You just see the everything it begins touching starts to like almost like it ages. It turns into like a ash, and you take that in necrotic damage. And you see several of the spellcasters collapse from the exertion. You can see sweat beating down their face. There's this residual black aura that's kind of aura kind of around them as it fades, like a smoke, a glowing
I need
smoke.
to save.
Mhm.
I
I took 9
can't.
damage.
I was gonna say you can't save. This isn't a video game. Nice try.
No. I need to save for my conjure animals.
Oh yeah, you should do that.
Ooh.
That did not count. That slipped out of my hand.
Yeah, I
Okay.
imagine a lot of them may have died.
Okay, that was worse than I thought.
How many hit points do those things have?
Probably
uh,
not enough.
Not enough.
Just do one save
Wait,
for
they
all
would-
of them.
Yeah.
They would. No, I have to save for the spell. It's a concentration.
Right, but they also are gonna take damage.
Right, but they're all just getting nuked.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
if-
they.
it-
Oh, never mind then, because they have 11 hit points.
Oh yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, they're all very dead.
Yeah.
I would like you to know that several that spell got weaker because of your wolves tearing and pulling away some of the spellcasters. So, anyways, with that, Merle, you've got a good view. You just had to quickly duck behind the top of the house, and as you kind of stand up, a big chunk of the roof is like nothing but ash, and you see a big giant round section where there used to be a thoroughfare, and there's those that survived are somehow charred and black, but are still standing. But there's just piles of ash everywhere.
Right. You said I mentioned some other dude who's doing stuff off in the distance.
Yes, you do. So a long distance away, you can see somebody who is clearly appears to be giving orders or chanting a spell. At this point, you have observed him enough. Give me a perception check.
All right, 11.
From this distance, you think he's giving. He's probably channeling, maybe healing somebody. You're not really sure, or giving orders at this distance.
You may have a bullet that says "May concern" on it.
Okay.
It's gonna
That's
nuke the whole
funny.
area.
That's funny.
Twice.
Oh my God!
Alright.
Yeah, twice.
It's just two giant explosions that just cover the area.
Okay, I'm
These
gonna
poor
move towards
people.
his. How far away is he, like, foot wide?
Well, long distance is usually about 90 feet.
Okay, I can work with that. I'm going to move in his direction.
Okay.
I'm going to fire Eldritch Cannon at him.
Because then he's a medium distance, so he can do that. Yeah.
Yep.
Would we have noticed his movement?
I mean, it's just some dude flying in the air, and he's the only one in the air
Yeah.
now, so probably.
Okay, I'm guessing a 14 does not hit.
You would be correct. Yeah, that's not gonna do it.
That's plan B anyway. For plan A, fireball.
It's like
Yeah,
playing a
so-
game of horseshoes and hand grenades. Almost is just
This
enough.
poor city. Not only did you guys
Yeah.
drop a damn building on it, but now you're blowing shit up
Hey, they did it
started
first.
it first.
because you
Justin, don't
you dropped a city on them.
Not on purpose. This is on purpose.
Okay.
We could have done this diplomatically. But no,
Fireball that
everyone
guy.
chooses violence.
But just imagine a little family that's like watching up on the hill, like from the rooftop in the distance, and just this fireball goes it's out of nowhere.
Yeah, just streaking through the sky. It
Yeah,
just
like,
collapses
Oh,
everything
get
around
down,
it.
yeah.
Wait, I fireball that guy.
All right.
Yeah. He's got to
What
make
is the
that
save?
sweet deck save.
17.
19. So half damage.
Oh. Damn. He saved.
She
That's
did.
unlucky.
Yes.
She did. She saved.
I
Very
rolled 30
unlucky.
for damage, so
How much?
3 damage.
All right. So, I imagine you pull up your handgun, and then like some detail or some tech rolls down your hand like nanotech and expands and takes it from a little tiny handgun to like a big hand cannon. And you point it and you release a blast that this little tiny pea shooter comes out, but when it hits it, it expands in this magnificent explosion, and a big chunk of the area just gets engulfed with flames. All you see.
Should take a bullet that's labeled fireball /2 but may concern, load into my gun and fire.
I love it. And after the explosion, you see her jumping back from her position. She's patting out the fires. You can see part of her face is a little burned, and she's coated by a shadow. And she says something, and you start seeing a shadowy door figure appear around her. This like shadow energy appearing around her.
Damn,
Anything
we got a whole
else?
bunch of shadow warriors around here.
Gee, that's weird.
I wonder what's going on, guys.
I wonder if it has something to do with that black sun on their chest.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, dude.
Anything else?
my move, that's my embellish, and that's my standard. So
Okay. So, as you jump up, you fly towards her. You load up your gun. You release a blast, a big explosion. She kind of after the explosion, she kind of falls back. She looks in your direction. This pillar of darkness appears, and you can see her patting out the fire. And she's holding her eye, and she takes a good long look at you, and you see her lips move. Give me an insight check. You can't read her. You don't know what language she's speaking. It doesn't matter. Never mind. And she turns and steps through the shadow and vanishes.
Another guy I gotta kill. God damn it.
All right. With that,
There's too many of them.
the giant elephant man is barreling through the soldiers.
Of course he's alive.
He's bleeding very profusely. Part of his arm is charred. But you can just see remnants of people on top of him as he's walking, and the ashes are just falling off as he goes into what starts as a run, starts as a walk, and he gets slowly and slowly builds up speed until he becomes a full-on charging humanoid elephant barreling down towards you, and is plowing through these soldiers, knocking them left and right and goring them with its tusks. They go flying left and right, and you hear Jara give a command about reorganizing and filling in the block and continuing down the alleyway. But unfortunately, it's coming right towards our boy Cecil and Garmore with its mighty boot stomps and its massive hammer. You can feel the thundering of the ground as this thing approaches towards you. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm next to Cecil, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No,
actually,
I guess I'm a short
moved.
distance now.
You moved.
Yeah.
You moved. So they caught up
Yeah,
to you.
so
Then
I'm
you
actually
moved
a short
forward.
distance.
They're a short
Yeah.
distance away from you.
You're right. My bad.
Justin, I sent you a message. It'll be awesome for this clash.
Okay, hang on a second.
And I think we forgot someone.
Did we forget somebody?
Yep.
Who'd I forget?
Osiv.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
Eminem.
No, Osip is with
Osiv's
you.
the big guy that came with us.
You're totally right. I totally forgot he was there. 1 second.
It is like that.
I thought, like, man, who could stop a giant elephant? And then I went,
Another
oh.
giant.
Another giant, yeah.
That's funny.
I could probably stop the giant elephant.
Well, I'm not
You're-
saying I couldn't, but
You're a little busy. So as this thing begins trampling towards you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and finish my thought, but I am gonna have him interject because I did forget about him. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So all right. It begins charging for it. It's barreling through, knocking people left and right, and it attempts to trample poor Cecil. Sorry. I need you to give me a I need to hit you with the gore attack first. 17 to hit.
yeah, that hits.
You
And
said that
I'm-
with such enthusiasm.
I'm dumb because I could have prevented it.
How so? All right, wait.
I was gonna put this.
Did you take the dodge action or something? Who did that? Nobody? Maybe. Maybe I'm.
No, I don't think he
I
actually
just
took. Yeah, I don't
moved
think he
up
actually took the
further
dodge
to
action. No.
Okay.
get
All
into,
right.
like the cone of protection.
Yeah. But
But
he
I
just.
should have done something else, and I looked back at it and I went, crap.
That's okay.
Hindsight 2020.
Right. He's about to knock you into the 2020, back into
Yeah.
2020. All right. So does that hit?
Soon.
That hits.
All right. So ouch. Pretty sure that's a 10. 18, 20. 21 points of piercing damage as he rams you and gores you with its tusk. And then as it's got you flailing on its tusk, you've kind of moved yourself a little way to try to get your footing. But as you do, its trunk smashes you and slaps you right to the ground. So I need a strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
Questions a 10.
That's not going to do it. So its trunk, with a mighty and weighty blow, leaves a perfect imprint in your shoulder as it smashes you to the ground. And he horn. What is it called when an elephant toots its horn? Is it,
Trumpet.
trumpet. He trumpets loudly in success as he looks down at you. This 7.5, 8 foot tall creature is just the look of "I'm going to kill you all" in its eyes. What are you going to do, Cecil? Oh,
All right.
let me.
You want to do?
Yes, I want to get
Okay,
Osiv
yes.
in here. Yes. So with
As
that,
I'm on the ground, though, I want to say, Osiv, good time.
good time. And you just see from this top window, you see Osiv smashing somebody's head into the wall as he's hanging from it like the Hulk. He pulls the person out and jumps from the second floor, landing next to the elephant person, and is going to attempt to beat
Oh,
the
he should have
living.
he should have came down with like a people's elbow or something.
So as he jumps off, he does a flying people's elbow and is going to make. I'll reflavor his. Well, he's got an axe. We'll give it just a regular unarmed strike. And he does the people's elbow into a grapple. Oh, yes.
We love it.
So as he jumps down, he does the people's elbow. He comes crashing down, busting up the elephant creature's trunk. It stumbles back, and he grabs those tusks and turns it and has him in almost a headlock, holding onto his arms, and he says, "Good time!" And he starts twisting it. Now, Cecil, what are you going to do? He has it grappled.
Osiv, give him a suplex.
So is everybody kind of grouped up, getting into the alley at this point?
Yes, you're slowly moving towards the alley. The end of this round, you guys are basically in the alley, but there's a roadblock, this spellcaster guy. And now
Yeah.
you're being attacked from behind.
He's kind of an issue.
Is there anybody
Kind of.
charging at us from behind, or just spells and?
No,
ranged attacks?
the soldiers are keeping all the martial fighters away from you. The problem is coming from they can't kill the crackling the lightning spellcasters quick enough. Now, some of them are weaker now because the wolves took a few out. So there's going to be the damage die is going to go down, but they're still shooting spells
Plus,
till
they
you can
just-
get this guy out of the way.
Plus, they just kind of nuked the whole area, so
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
they're a little winded.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try and clear the road here. So I'm gonna use one of my key points, and I'm gonna smack myself in the chest, and you guys are gonna see just air shoot off of me,
Okay.
and I will get. Where is it here? So I'll get +2 to AC and double speed, and advantage
Ooh.
on Dex saving throws.
Oh, nice. You should have did that sooner.
Exactly. Exactly.
Uh, so
Yeah,
so
it's like that.
so
So
how
that
does
was-
that? How did you say that looked?
So
He
I,
kind of pumped himself up, and now air's
Yeah.
shooting off of him.
so I have a +2 to
He,
AC, advantage on Dex throws, and double speed.
He kind of
so
punched himself in the chest, was just pumped up a little.
Yeah, I'm like, screw the elephant, I'm taking this thing.
for some reason I imagined Master Roshi when you said that, going from this little itty bitty guy to whoosh. But anyway, so you got this
Big
this
man.
energy radiating from you.
All right.
Is
and
that's
was
just
my-
your bonus, right?
That was just my bonus, and so then I am going to do my elemental monk ability and cast Wall of Fire,
Ho 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 ho!
protect our retreat.
I love it. I love it. How long does that last, and how much damage does it do?
So it does 5d8 damage to anybody that's within 10 feet of it, when their turn ends, or anybody that passes through it.
You should know you're going to be hard pressed not to include some Boros Legion people. So why don't you give me a perception check to see if you can find an appropriate way to lay this without catching the guys that are escorting you in it at all. So I'm going to
Actually,
tell you, I'm going to
there's
start easy. What?
There's actually a detail, if I recall, on Wall of Fire. Pulling it up right now. Once on the
Alright.
wall
Well, the
selected
12
by
on
you
the
when you cast a
perception check,
spell.
by the way.
Yeah, it says one side of the wall selected by you when you cast the spell deals 5d8 fire damage to each creature that ends its turn within 10 feet
Right.
of
Yeah,
that
it's only
side.
the back side of the wall that does the 10 feet of fire damage. If you're inside the wall
It doesn't
at
do- yeah.
all, even an inch inside of it, you're safe.
Yeah, I get that. But there's
Yeah, but
soldiers
the idea is
fighting.
just- yeah. It just
So
because
it's
it doesn't
gonna
hurt both sides, it's keeping the
Yes.
one side out, which is trying to get people where
Well,
we want to
let's
go.
say
So-
I want to cast this with the intent of letting as many Boris through as I can.
And that's how we're going to do it. That's why I
Yeah.
gave you a perception roll, because you're basically trying to evaluate the location of the spell. Unfortunately, with the 12, you're going to get a few, but you're going to at least be able to block your retreat and the risk versus reward here, I guess. I'm trying to think of how I'm going to make this happen. All right, okay, so you take on a strange stance, and you start moving like a wave for a second, and your body bursts with, red energy, and it's wisps of this red smoke energy are coming off you. It starts to form, and it goes down, and it all forms in your leg, and you jump, and you do a roundhouse kick, and following the roundhouse, a burst of fire comes up and just erupts from the ground, and you instantly hear the screams and howls of men. And you see utter terror and surprise on some of the Boros guys as they kind of step back for a second. You hear one shout, "No, Frankie!" as he's on the other side being turned to ash.
I forgot to mention it's a 18 dexterity saving throw to take half damage.
Yeah,
That's
they don't
very
have-
high.
Yeah.
That is.
The goal is to stop them from coming, right? They're not
Right.
Right.
gonna make it through. They all only have a couple hit points. Shh, don't tell nobody. But it's just there's a lot of them, right? All right, so with that, your roundhouse kick lights it up. Chuck Norris has got nothing on Cecil here, as your kick is shooting out waves of flame, and it lights up the area. Garbor, you're kind of just in awe as you see him jump up, roundhouse kick, and just create a barrier to allow you guys to retreat. And you also notice that this actually goes, how high does that go up? 20 feet, right?
I know it's fairly tall.
So it creates a barrier of line of sight as well. Because it says
it
a
goes up like
solid
20
circle.
feet, yeah.
Yeah. So as arrows are being launched and spells are being flung through it, you'll immediately notice that they're not landing as effectively. You have literally walled off some of the ambushers' line of sight with this technique. So very
The wall-
kudos.
The wall is considered opaque.
Yes,
I don't know
which
what
means
that means.
hard to see
Which
through.
means solid.
Ah.
Yeah, like blurred.
Yeah, like a window
Opaque
after
is like looking at like a can, because translucent means like it's blurry, and transparent
Oh.
means you can see through
well,
it.
opaque
means
was
you can
more
see,
like
shapes through
Yeah.
it, but not clear image. Yeah.
yeah. So a really good example. I mean, I think opaque has a scale just like transparency, but the point is
It
they can't
probably
really
does,
see
yeah.
through it.
Imagine
Like a
trying to see
bathroom
through
window. That's a
gunfire.
good one. Thank you, honey.
Yeah.
Like one of those bathroom windows. You can see the light outside and some stuff, but you really can't. You're not gonna be able to hit anything. Huh? You can't. You can see light, but no naked people. Okay. So
Wow.
so Jara says, Cecil, why didn't you do that sooner? We could have lost less men.
I could have possibly killed more with it too.
Fair point. Everyone, I'm ordering the retreat. We're redirecting down this way. Zorax, have you not done with that soldier yet? He shouts over
Been
it.
like 6 seconds here.
Carmore, what are you doing?
Okay, so how far away is Zorax's opponent from me?
Short distance.
Short distance.
Short distance? Okay. I need that guy to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Why?
He got a 6.
No, that's a fail.
That I would
So
imagine.
he is going to suffer the
Oh,
damage.
hang on. He's got the Dark One's own luck. When it makes an ability check or saving throw, it can add a D10 roll. Hang on. I can only do that once, though.
Survive. Yeah.
Hang on.
Well,
Oh, I got a 1 on that. Damn it. Okay,
He
now
is
you
going
can
to
go.
suffer the damage from my 4th level spell, a blight.
Ooh,
Oh, that's
Dirty.
gonna hurt.
that is going to hurt. All right,
Uh,
why don't you roll
It
me
is
some damage?
painful.
Using Digidice on D&D Beyond.
Is that a crit? that-
No,
That max
No, I
damage?
don't-
You don't crit. It's max damage.
it's not max
The
damage,
damage?
but it is pretty high. 42 points of necrotic damage.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's painful.
Oh my god. So, all right.
Man's just suffering here. Ow.
Ooh. Ha 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 ha. All right. So, do you have a specific thing in mind that you want to how you want to describe this?
Using the energy from that necrotic explosions residue in the area, he channels it with his spirit totem that's around his neck. He holds it up, it coalesces in his other hand, and it condenses into this pure sphere of necrotic energy.
That looks
And he
familiar.
and he slams it into the earth, into the ground, and it zigzags across the ground. And once it reaches
Oh.
one of the foot of the spellcaster, the necrotic energy just surges through his body.
And he turns to ash.
That's sick.
Oh, that's
A
so
lot of
good.
damage.
That's
That's
so
the first-
good. That's so good.
I think this is my first kill with Blight.
So good. Dude, you were right on par. I was like, dude, he can draw the energy from the spell that just happened
Yeah.
that's lingering, and you did it. I was like, yes! That's so awesome. You guys notice this black, and you notice this too, this black aura is around you, and wisps of this black light are steaming off you like a kettle pot. You guys aren't familiar with this. This is a very strange phenomenon, but you are starting to correlate it to when you use magic. So it's becoming more and more clear. It started off very dim at first, but now it's really starting to be more effective or more obvious. I don't know, brighter maybe. If dark
Yeah.
energy can be bright, I guess. All right, so that guy isn't coming back. Elephant guy is still here though. Anything else, Garmore?
I mean, I wish I could cast Healing Word as a bonus action, but I can't.
Nope. If you cast a bonus action, a spell as a bonus, the other action has to be a cantrip.
Nah,
and it
Blight
was
is an action.
Yep.
Actually, I am going to.
It is worth noting that I let that rule slip for people who quicken spells with meta magic.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody is wondering, because that may come up at some point.
Excuse me.
Actually,
Nice.
why the heck not? I am going to wild shape into a direwolf.
Ooh. Because they haven't seen enough of that shit today.
Yeah, and so
Horrors.
so a green and blue mist starts to surround and swirl around Garmore and acts like a tornado. Next thing you see is emerging from this swirl of druidic-looking energy. You see a what's the size of that thing? A large, four-legged beast, somewhat familiar but bigger, a direwolf.
Oh man, and you can see that energy surrounds you, and you have this glowing, faint wisp of light smoke, kind of rising off of your wolfish form, and it's green. Anything else?
Nope.
With the crackling energies in attacks and bows and arrows being attacked at you, you can see this stuff smashing into this wall of fire and you know, small explosions everywhere are being absorbed by this wall of fire. Jorah is telling everyone, we gotta go, hurry up, and he's trying to usher people around. I need everyone to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, dang it. Oh, my dex is not so different in my direwolf form.
I beat 14.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
Don't you have advantage, Cecil?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
I do. And it's still.
Okay then.
I
I
don't
rolled
know
a
how
7.
that turned out so bad. How did it?
Did you do it right? You rolled the
Yeah,
big
man.
guy
It's like that.
twice.
That happens.
Sometimes bad shit happens. If it makes you feel better, your wall has reduced the damage already by half.
True.
Instead of
Yeah,
66, I rolled 3d6 for your cover that your shield
I
your
rolled the
wall
right
provides.
dice, and it just did not. I just both
Did
were
not
terrible.
compute.
Yeah, terrible.
Well, okay. You failed. So, the total
Yes.
damage is 12 if you failed this and we're going to say 6 is piercing and 6 is lightning. If it matters at any point for any features.
No.
And obviously half as much if you succeeded. As many of the attacks, the only ones that are able to really get through are the few that are on the right side of the fire, and even then they're hard pressed as you guys are running towards the ally to get a good attack. You can see several of the Boros Legion soldiers are still falling, but they've rallied to the point they're creating kind of like a shield wall now around. In a shield wall where they put the shields up above and to the sides, and basically you're a walking tank at this point. You have observed that the attackers are taking a little more reserved tactics as they pull back, and most begin using ranged weapons as opposed to fighting in melee. And are trying to keep their distance from the fire. On this side, inside the barrier, though, there is a bit of skirmishes between several different squads as you guys are making your way in. I think I didn't miss anybody.
I mean, there is the big elephant dude.
Yeah, it's his turn. His turn's next. But I've got Osiv on here, but I put him. I had him take the action earlier, so it's gonna skip this one because he actually rolled after. Just lower 7 below Garmor. So the big elephant dude is gonna get his attack again. As he's got Osiv has got him in a firm, tight grip. He is going to not try to break the grip. Instead, he's going to swing wildly, and hope to gore nearby people, and specifically Garmor.
Oh, come on!
Oh, boo-hoo. That is a 12. Wait, hang on. That's 11 on the dice. 12.
Wait, how much did he
plus
hit me?
6.
What's his attack
It's
roll?
AC right now. So it's a 12 on the die, not 11, and plus 8 for the stat block. So that would be 20. Dirty 20, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Dirty 20. He didn't move, so he's just doing a... actually, he's doing a wild gore swing, so that's 3d8. For 8, 12, 13. For 13 points of piercing damage as he flails wildly. And Osiv says, "Hold on, you dirty beast." It's his giant trunk is constantly letting out trumpets, and it's kind of flailing around, slapping you guys as it's moving back and forth. And Zorax, your target has just turned to ash. The path is now clear. The soldiers ahead of you are already making their way into the alley out of the line of sight. What are you gonna do?
What do I see down the alley?
So as you look down the alley, it's probably a 100-foot passage that's about 20 feet wide. It's a pretty big alley. And at the end, you can see what looks like a fork in the road, or not a fork, a T block. It goes left and goes right. And there are several doors that seem to lead into the buildings, like back exit doors, and you can see trash cans and stuff along the aisle. Clearly, this is where the businesses or the homes dump all their trash and stuff.
Right.
There are like fire escapes, kind of, that go up the side. You can see clotheslines hanging between the two buildings.
Okay. Well, I'm not like hard pressed to go. Well, I kind of are. We're still getting pelted by, everything.
I mean,
look back-
Osiv and Cecil and Garmor are fighting a
Yeah.
giant elephant man.
Yeah. I feel like they can handle that though.
Okay.
I turned back to help my comrades because that'd
short
be the
distance
better
away.
play. Yeah. So I run over. And I look at the giant elephant. I'm like, man, you're bigger up close.
You hear this deep voice in your brain. Minion, your friend there did not let me eat. I am not okay with this.
I'm aware. Look, a giant steak. Do you know what food
I
tastes
like it rare.
Ah, so you do know what food is like. Okay, we'll try and make it rare for you.
Do you get it? Everything he slays is rare.
I guess it's not.
I don't know. I cooked some of that food today.
Yeah, well, somebody turned it to ash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did. Your big wall of fire. Smells like a barbecue here.
18 to hit.
Yes.
Alright. Damage roll. Which is... That's a lot of damage. 17 slashing damage and 5 radiant damage. And then I'm gonna roll my next hit.
Okay.
Damn, I'm always one away from a crit. It's like 31.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, not there. Sorry.
How healthy is this guy looking?
I can't tell you because I don't know right now. Hang on.
Okay.
Something
So I
else.
just did 22 damage to him on swing 1.
All right,
I
so
feel like
you,
got attacked a lot.
yeah, he's got all.
You just
Pretty, he's pretty
flew
beefy.
in and-
Yeah, he's pretty beefy. I brought him in at half health, and he's still pretty beefy. So how much damage? 20 what?
I did 22 on the first hit, assuming
Okay.
no resistances.
Nope, none.
And how healthy does he seem? Because I want to know if... Well, I guess that's fair.
so,
I guess
okay,
I can't
so-
really ask that.
So as you come, he doesn't die.
Would you like me to
So
roll
if you're gonna
insight?
attack,
Yeah.
no, he doesn't die. If you're gonna attack him again, go ahead. If you're gonna change the targets, go ahead.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna narrate. I'm gonna wait to narrate it till after you're done, and I'll
Okay.
include a detail of how he's feeling or looking.
Sure.
You're not gonna be like, swing. All right. Are you gonna die? Oh, good. You're dead.
Right.
No, you're not dead. Are you?
Uh,
Okay, I'm gonna go attack that guy if you're not gonna die. 'Cause that's kind of what I feel is going on. If he was
No,
dead,
yeah,
I
you're
would
right.
tell you, right?
Right. I have any like damaging spells that are just not straight utility?
Don't you
I
have
don't
any of the smite spells? Not the smite,
You mean
but the
smite?
smite. No, not smite. Smite spells.
I did used to have the
Like
smite,
thunderous
spells,
smite or
but
whatever. You know those
not
stack
anymore,
with
yeah.
smite, right?
That's
That's why you
crazy.
take those.
That's kind of wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they stack.
I'll just smite this guy.
If you hit.
Well, I did. It was a 31. I'm not gonna. You think I'm gonna miss? Like, hello? I'll just do a level 1 smite. So it's what, 2d8?
Yep.
So it's a 3d8 total. Grab these. 4. Wow, that's not bad. 10. for an extra 27 points of damage.
Hang on while I bath.
Math.
Ah.
So,
Not
So-
bad.
as you as you have cleared out the way has been cleared, Jara is ushering soldiers in. He's screaming for you guys to come on. He does shout reinforcements have been called and are on the way. You turn back and you see Osiv and your friends. You saw Garmor shapeshift into this big wolf, and Cecil is pinned to laying on the ground like a little bitch. And
I got up, right? I would have had to have gotten up to do the wall of fire.
oh yeah, it was your
He
turn.
got-
For some reason, I thought he
Yeah.
went after you.
Didn't
Didn't he? Did he go after
No.
you or
Osiv-
before you? Okay.
Osiv
No, because the
called
last time he attacked,
Yeah.
it was Garmor.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. So you see Cecil is just recovered from unleashing a kick from hell, and you dash over to this creature. Your blade is begging you, minion, to bring it something fresh. And as Osiv's got it in this kind of tiger grip, holding onto its horns, or its giant tusks, it's flailing wildly, and it turns just a moment that you get a good. The flank of this creature is just ready for the reaping. You kind of do a duck and a roll and come up with a vertical slash, and you gouge through its armor. You hear it trumpet and bellow in a thunderous roar in pain, and you swing and do a circular motion, spinning in 360 degrees, and try to cut through, aim for its neck, or to cleave off its head, and you cut through part of its neck, right about a quarter-inch deep, and you can see blood profusely dripping. He stumbles back, and his body starts to go limp. And he's barely able to hold himself up. He's flailing as he can, but you can see that he's got no strength left. He's hurting and stumbling, and his trumpets have gotten really weak. As your blade flashes to life with an unholy energy and cuts into him and leaves a sizzling dark energy coming from him, and you
It is
hear,
pretty unholy.
"Yes. Minion, you've done well this day. Just a little more." Anything else from Zorax?
Yeah, I inform everybody to allow me to get the finishing blow, please. I say allow
do you
me to
shout
finish him
that?
off. Yeah,
Uh,
allow me to finish him
all
off.
right, everyone, give me Merle, I'll need a perception check for you to hear that because you're off in the distance, but everyone else can hear it pretty cleanly.
Yeah,
King.
it's up to you to do with what you will with the information, but it matters not.
Well, if you yell, finish the guy off.
I definitely give Zorax a knowing look, and I kind of give him a go ahead.
It's pretty nice. I like that.
Hmm.
Let me check for something here. Hang on. Ooh.
If only
that's
you
good.
knew the curse that was placed upon me. Yeah, I'm sure you have an
Yeah.
idea, but it's unfortunately it's very life-threatening.
Okay. All right. They acknowledge it. Merle, you've blasted to bits this woman, and she disappeared in a puff of shadowy doorway. He couldn't do.
Alright. I hear Zorax yell, finish this guy off.
I'm sorry. What was your perception check? I must have missed it.
15.
Yeah, you do hear it. It's very subtle, but you catch it, and you suspect you know why.
Okay, first off, Eldritch Cannon.
At what?
The guy he said finish this guy off.
You're such a whore. Go ahead.
I'm guessing a 14's not gonna work.
No, that's not. Sorry.
Wait, did you hear him right? Did you hear that let me finish this guy off, or did you hear finish this guy off?
I heard finish this guy off.
Ah.
Physicality.
Finish
I
him.
missed. Oh, firebolt.
Yeah.
Okay.
D7 to hit. Better.
A what?
27.
D7.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Or 21 fire damage.
Ooh. Do you want to
Cantrip.
describe how it ends?
Oh no, Austin's not here.
Oh.
I cantrip deal more
Oh,
damage
no.
than my first level.
That's funny.
Well, I'm guessing the dude was like raising his hands up to attack, and suddenly a streak of fire falls down from the sky and he explodes.
More nukes! No.
A trunk. the trunk goes flying. With that,
I definitely yell, "Stop playing with your enemies and finish them off."
with that, you hear a loud trumpet, and in the distance you can see more soldiers are arriving in rank. The sound of their thundering beat. At this time, Jara is trying to usher everybody in. He says, "Quick, get in here till the reinforcements arrive. They'll be here shortly."
I follow suit.
So he's got everyone being tucked into this alleyway. As you guys spread towards the end, Merle, are you going to join him, or are you gonna go fly towards the?
Oh hey Austin, Merle
Hello.
just finished
Hi.
off your opponent.
He
It's like that sometimes.
he misheard what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, you-
dude, that
you
looks
yelled,
so
"Let me finish
good.
him off," and I heard finish him off.
Hey, you know, understandable.
Yeah.
Combat and all that.
Right.
There's more
This is a
targets.
fly escort for the group at this point.
Okay, so with that, the soldiers, the Boros Legion, are able to keep off the rest of them with the energy, the fire blazing allows you guys to retreat enough that you're able to get to the back of the alley and out of way of these assassins or ambush attackers. And Jara turns and looks and says to you, "My apologies. We did not think anybody would be as so brazen to attack midday while you were surrounded by an escort. This was unforeseen."
Garmor reversed form, and through Zorax, he asked, "Who were they?"
I relay the information to him.
About the
Who were
Who
they?
the attackers were.
Orzhov? Yeah. So if you give me a second, I will bring up some detail and then I can give that he is relaying to you. Du-du-du-du. Okay. I always pass it. Like, it's in between Is It and Rakdos, and I always pass it. I don't know why. That's weird. All right, so he says kind of in a deep voice, "Well, that was the Orzhov Syndicate. They are the guild of Precinct 1. They are the bureaucrats, the administrators, and quote-unquote aristocrats of Precinct 1. They are also publicly, not publicly, a well-known, well-established crime syndicate. At least, not publicly, but everybody knows, so it's kind of publicly. is kind of the information you're gathering. They basically, and Jarek just kind of cuts it or jumps in to add a little more details. The Orzhov have immense wealth, and they funnel that wealth from everywhere to the people at the top of their oh my god, I just realized reading through this that the Orzhov syndicate works like the GOP. that can't be a coincidence. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. I didn't put that together till just this second as I'm reading through this. Holy crap, that's weird. Anyway, so
Wow.
they basically funnel all the money to the few people at the top. That's hilarious. All right. They insist on exerting their leverage over individuals to get their demands met. So what it comes down to is they are not the most honest of us.
They also don't sound very public, so this is very strange for them to be here.
They represent the wealth and power of the precinct, and they truly believe that they can take their wealth with them when they die. It's very strange. I can't make sense of it, honestly. But their syndicates and their priests and their obligarchs exist for the single purpose of funneling wealth all the way to the top.
As this is happening, Garmor is going to cast Mass Cure Wounds.
Ooh, nice.
We'll need it.
Choose up to 6 creatures in a 30-foot radius sphere centered on a point that I can see within range. That's 60 feet. I'm going to center it on everybody here. 3d8. Spell slot. Roll the dice. Hang on. Trying to make sure it's the right spell. Slot, actually.
And while Garmor is attending to your wounds, he basically says, as far as the Orzhov go, they care about only the Orzhov. If it were up to them, all of Ravnica would follow an orderly process designed to funnel everything into their grasps. So it's not a coincidence that they are also the bank of Ravnica.
18 hit points restored.
Cool.
Oh yeah, communism's fun.
Yeah.
So he says, and you can hear the clash of battle, and you can hear the cheering and shouting of the soldiers as backup arrives, and what attackers are left are routed, and they flee the scene. And Jara looks and he says, "I am truly sorry for this. We suspected there might be risks. The Dimir had warned us of the potential threats that loomed. Now, if I recall, this is the first time you guys have heard of the Dimir in this campaign.
I believe
Demir?
It is.
Did you say Demir?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He says we had gotten word that there was a few. There's always somebody unsettled, but your appearance in their property and the destruction of their property, and I say that because while they may pretend to care about their people, all they care about is their assets. And you have destroyed your city's arrival has taken a massive hit to their coffers. So it's not a surprise, according to the Dimir, that this was likely to happen, but we could not have imagined it would have happened as soon as we had left your city.
It is pretty... I figured we'd be unwelcomed by somebody, but I didn't expect so much.
Well, if you have not been informed or you have not gathered any information yet, the world of Ravnica, our world, is split among the 10 guilds. And they
Right.
all have their own machinations.
Guilds.
What's that?
Guilds.
So with that,
Others not.
we should probably continue our way towards the Azoria Senate, unless you have any questions.
Let's keep moving.
We are not informed of a 10th guild.
Which ones are you aware of?
I don't quite remember
Let
them.
me scroll back up.
Yeah.
I can read them to you. You guys know of the Azorius,
Mhm.
the Golgari,
Mhm.
the Groll, the Izzet. You have just met the Orzhov,
Oh,
the
what a
Rakdos,
meeting.
huh?
I said, what a meeting.
Right. The Selesnya, and the Simic. The one you're just now learning of is the Demir.
Right.
He kind of looks and kind of stutters a little bit, and he says, "Snakes they are, lurking in the shadows. They should be rooted out. They should be rooted out so they can shrivel in the light. But they do have their uses."
Okay. Anywho, we should definitely be running,
Yes. Let's
leaving
go.
this leaving this area quite immediately.
On a scale to 0 to his max health, how healthy is he looking? That always makes me laugh.
Let's get to this meeting.
So
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 85, I'm looking like a.
that's funny. All right, so you guys begin to soldier on, I guess, through the city. Hang on a second.
Oh, Merle. I have something. Since you are the only original companion of our last conquest through Avernus that is here, I have learned that my wife is safe. She is back and at home.
I would call that a good thing, and it's nice to know that family.
I feel like wouldn't Merle be kind of curious of how he learned that?
I don't think.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
Little bit weird.
I don't think Zorx has ever mentioned it in the last campaign.
He did.
He did.
Like one time. It was like once, but it's just such a detail. Like you can always check. He has a ring on. He is established, but also he kind of like speaks up. One of them tried to do something extremely strange to me, and I feel like everyone should know this. Well, all of us here anyway.
Can you describe it?
One of them tried to send me back to Faerun.
DM. Would that sound familiar to Garmer because of one of his previous companions?
Constantly using banishment on everything.
I'm trying to decide. Because knowing you make people disappear doesn't necessarily mean you know where they end up.
Right.
True.
My Joram senses are tingling, but that's another topic into itself.
Your Joram senses are tingling. Fucking Joram. I would say you are you've seen the spell that banishes people to other planes, but they always have come back. I think
Relay
so.
that information to Zorax.
What was that?
I relay that information to Zorax.
Mm-hmm. This didn't feel like that, but maybe I'm just wrong. I'm not exactly familiar with magics.
I'm not familiar with with this arcane
Would
spell at all.
Merle have a grasp of what may have happened?
What was that?
I'm sorry, what?
Would Merle have a general idea of what may have happened?
Give me an Arcana check.
Yeah, 27.
Judging by his description, it sounds like a common practice wizard spell in Faerun known as Banishment. And you are surprised to see such a spell here.
That sounds like the banishment.
It could be a clue to what you need to get back. But
Interesting.
Certainly a spell you come across every day, but hey, it has its use. It looks like it might have some applications that we didn't necessarily consider. Most because I don't have it, but hey.
and Jara kind of jumps in. So, excuse me for over eavesdropping, but are you suggesting that one of the Orzhov, there's no F, it's Orzhov, one of the
The V.
Orzhov, yeah, one of the Orzhov have the power to send you home?
Well, to send one of us home. I
And
wouldn't say they
How many
had.
people are in your city?
Would know
So that's
that
head
number,
count?
would we?
I think I gave you a number, approximately like 3,000 or something, wasn't it? I know
Something like-
I feel like I gave that number somewhere.
Probably about that.
Like that's the part.
Given everyone dying and upon the crash landing and the invasions and the devils and yeah, sounds like an appropriate number.
Okay, I found it. 2,000 military, 7,000 civilians, so 9,000 total.
Okay.
Bigger.
Trying to remember what I think it was like. I think I based that off of what the population was.
So I mean, if one of them can send one of us back.
Oh yeah. It fluctuates between 29,000 and 33,000 people. So you've lost about 2/3 of the population.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I was like,
Given
I
everything that
know I
happened.
didn't just pull that number out of my ass. I came up with it from somewhere. All right, I just double checked. All right, there we go. Well, even if it can send one of you back, though obviously it wasn't effective, that may be.
Well, I wonder about that actually.
We should certainly speak with the Izzet Guild once we have met with the
Senate.
the Supreme Judge Isperia.
It's a good
She's
idea.
ancient and wise, and will have many words, many of which you probably don't want to hear, but that is how she is. Shall we continue?
Yes.
So
I also
ahead.
relay that speaking of banishment, there have actually been in Legend of the Voidwalker Paladins that have been able to do similar things against other people. I'm not sure about themselves, but it's just something to kind of note. Because they also learn banishment in
Yep.
my next level.
So make sure that's of note to you, Merle, because as the chief's engineer, you'll be responsible for helping work with building the construct that will probably be needed to get you back, and that could be of note. All right. With that, you guys start making your way through, marching with the thunderous beat of the soldiers' march. And as you're walking through, and when I say walking through, it's huge. After the attempt on your guys' lives, or so you believe, you guys do gain the benefit of a short rest, so restore any hit points, gain any powers back, blah blah blah, all that jazz. You walk for a few hours and you make your way through the different city landmarks, and it's becoming quite clear that most of the buildings that as you pass and you talk with the guards and stuff, that most of the residents, most of them aren't permanent residents. It's almost like people come here to do government work and then they go somewhere else where they live. Why don't you all give me investigation checks, please?
I'm gonna use guidance on myself. Whoops, that fell.
Um,
Oh, that's bad. That's a 13.
I got a 17.
I guess I have. You said investigation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna bother using a point on that. I got a 2.
So, there's no place like Faerun. So, Cecil, as you guys are walking, you pass this very lavish guild hall. And Cecil, you know that it's known as the Church of Deals, which is Orzhov's Syndicate's guild hall. On the western edge of the 10th district, in Precinct 1. You see these towering spears of stained glass windows house the house the Orzhov, and you know that it's also specifically for grand gatherings and the quarters of the most elite of its members, including the ghosts of Obzidat. I don't know who that is, so we're just gonna say you know who it is for right now, because I don't, and I gotta look it up. So when you guys start role playing, I'm gonna Google it.
Fair enough.
And you know, based on your sources, your investigations, that there is a massive coliseum or cathedral that lies beneath the cathedral lies a mausoleum glittering with opulence and serving as a resting place and a gathering point for secret meetings far from prying eyes and the guild pact. I gotta go look this up. So I don't know if you want to kind of role play that as you guys are walking through this. Do you guys have any questions? Do you want to share that information you gathered, Cecil? I know that was a lot. You can just say I relate if you really don't want to get into it. But...
Yeah, I relay the information. Just say through my investigations on the city, I've learned a little bit about the Orzhov and what they hide, and then explain.
And Jara says yes. It's very unsettling how much power they have.
Since when have you been investigating a syndicate when you have been translating with Zorax?
I say there's a lot of downtime, and someone like me doesn't leave things to chance.
That was a damn good response.
Downtime. You
Oh.
had downtime when I was learning an entire language in weeks?
I'm a quick learner.
I look at you with a very inquisitive look. Like, something seems a little wrong there. I understand you're well-versed in languages. You have mentioned that before, so perhaps, but still strange.
Jara just kind of, as you're walking by, says, the place reeks of death. Cecil, you know that the Obzidat are the spirits of the former Orzhov patriots and occasionally matriarchs, who basically became immortal ghosts and run the show, so to speak.
Wow. Very unsettling.
Ran by immortal ghosts. They're trustworthy.
Right? They got their grubby little hands in everybody's money. Like, you're dead, what do you need it for?
It's funny. Apparently, Google spelling check actually kind of corrected me on that, which is weird, because I didn't think that they would have that in their vocabulary.
What do you know?
Well, Magic the Gathering is the largest trading card game in the world, so I wouldn't be surprised. And it's a card, so I'm sure it's a card. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I'm sure it is.
So we're supposed to be meeting the Supreme Justice? That's what I'm hearing?
I believe the
Uh,
word was judge.
Isperia is the name of the judge.
Yes, we must head to Precinct 2, beyond the borders of this precinct of the 10th District.
So we still have quite a ways.
Yes, we must pass through Griffin Heights, up through or past the statue of Argus Kos, and into New Prov.
Hmm.
So, it
We
will
probably
take us
shouldn't be
some
here
time.
long,
Yeah, let's keep moving.
as long as we can help it.
So, as you guys are traveling through Precinct 1,
And Zorax is just glorying at like all the fine buildings, and he's just so not used to this.
so yeah, and everything is pretty lavish.
I've seen so much destruction, and I lived in Baldur's Gate and went through hell, and now I'm here.
You basically went from the roughs to like upper.
Like upper class.
Yeah, right. I was trying to think of a good popular place that's upper class, but I'm not upper class, so I don't know what those places are.
Me either. Woo!
Beverly Hills is one. I only know that because of TV, right? So
Right.
during throughout your time, go ahead and what would your character be doing during this long travel?
Well,
He would check through his spells.
I know.
Requesting help from Zorax as a translator. He would ask to see if there's any of the ask Captain Jar if there's any of his soldiers that need healing. You can only heal up to 6 people.
How many spell slots do you have?
I have 1 5th level left. I have a 7th level, a 6th level, 2 4th level, 3 3rd levels. No,
So
not 3 3rd levels, 2 3rd levels, 3
the
2nd levels, and 4 1st levels.
the trek through the districts, everyone, they do have medics and stuff, so you would only need to spend your spells on your allies. I'm not going to make you do that for the rest of them unless you so
Okay.
decide you want to.
All right.
But they have medics and stuff, but you can give me a medicine check to help aid in that.
there you go.
Use guidance on myself. Wait. I need to look at my notes. Aha! I have a talent that gives me advantage on medicine checks.
Amazing. As suited for the druid man.
Okay, let's see. Oh, wow. That is a 23 total.
One of the men is very sick and ill, and you recognize the sewer plague. The plague that was inside your city has spread to this person outside. Cecil, you spot Garmor standing over one of the soldiers who you previously identified as not a Boros Legion soldier, but you had previously identified as an Orzhov soldier. Garmor, you know the only way he could have got that disease is if he was inside Elturel's gates, because none of you have it. So it's strange for a soldier outside the gates.
Freaking knew it. Okay.
So
Hey.
Cecil, take the lead. You two take the lead with that however you want.
When I notice his affliction, I take a square back and I draw my scimitar.
I say.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Garmor?
I can't understand him.
You can see fear. Give me an insight check.
Zorax looks in confusion.
You know what? I'm not gonna say anything yet.
You're like, you know what? Let the cards fall as
15.
they may.
My insight is a 15 on the roll.
You can see a look of fear in his eyes. And as you draw your blade, about 10 other soldiers around you draw theirs and circle around you. And you don't understand them as they shout and yell at you. Cecil and Zorax, you hear him shouting, "You dare attack our own? Your friend over there already incinerated several." But you don't understand what they're saying. But they all draw their blades on you.
What are you guys doing?
I'm looking in shock. You just pulled a blade on a man.
Who's
Zorax.
sick?
What? Garmor, what are you doing?
The man who I'm pointing my blade at is afflicted by the sewer plague. One could only get that if he was in El Terrell.
So you try to kill him in public?
That sounds so bad when you say it out loud.
I want you to know what you're doing, Garmor.
I see
Well,
There
I
are
wouldn't.
plenty of
Why
ways to kill a man.
I go up to Garmor, and I say, "Put away the sword, and let him be."
He will
was-
die in his own.
It was
If
in,
you said he is sick.
He was in the city during
under-
negotiations.
If you hurt him, I'll slit your throat, you alien.
I can understand that.
I get
no,
him
but the other guys can.
I part between
Yeah.
and I say something along the lines of, "Oh, I'm sorry, he mistaken him for someone else. Someone tried to steal from him earlier." Or something
not,
like that. Something to kind of dissuade.
Give me
the
a
situation.
persuasion check.
Yes, I
With-
gladly.
Yes, with disadvantage.
I understand.
Oh,
Because
I won't
your
even
buddy-
roll then.
What's that?
I won't even roll then. I was much less intent on stopping this than Zorax.
Well, I mean, I know this guy, so I'm gonna try and keep him
Yeah.
alive.
Well,
But
the fact that he's got a knife to or a sword to a guy's throat and 10 swords around surrounding him in circles is
yeah,
interesting
I got a
scenario.
9, buddy.
he says, "He is my brother in arms, and his life is more valuable than an alien's. He harms a hair or on his head or scratches his armor, he will pay with his life." And now you're starting to hear cheering and, "Yeah, do it, get him, Billy!" You know, kind of, you know, that what is it? That mob mentality. Even though they
Yeah.
are orderly soldiers, when it
I
comes to
glare
their
at Garmor.
brothers.
All right, I step in and I yell, "Enough!" And I try to get everybody to step back and stop.
Okay, give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
A 15.
Wow.
Oh, that's actually not
Surprisingly
bad.
high. Yeah, surprisingly high.
Justin, what did you do?
Did you lose something?
No, I might have put something in the wrong spot. I'm not sure yet, but it doesn't matter. You got a 15. So you kind of give some good talking points, how, you know, you're alien to this world and blah 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 about how. Oh, I got it. He's just concerned that you share information that he's concerned that he might be ill and it might be contagious and pass to everyone else. So he's
And-
protecting everybody else.
That he got it from the city.
Wear a mask.
Wear a mask. There it is.
He just wants to vaccinate him with the end of his sword.
Thank you, Alicia.
They say thank you.
That's funny.
So violent. So shit. You just totally just made my mind go blank. So you give a pretty good spiel, and they kind of all step back for a second, and then they all cover their mouths. And he says, "What kind of disease?"
Through
Well-
Cecil and Zorax, I relay the specific information, or actually the layman's terms of the sewer plague,
And he
I
says,
stop him.
and I
stop him
add-
mid-
and I
I stop
add
him.
that right now the only place that your friend could have gotten it is from our city.
I I look
stopped
over
Thorax from
and
interpreting.
see. I'm not
Hang on,
saying this
hang-
because I
Okay.
see that you're trying to like stop me. I'm like, well, what are you? What? Why? Why are you? Why? Are you, I speak in regular common. Why are you telling me to
Yeah.
stop?
I tell Garmor, if we let them know that we brought a plague to their city through Etrell, how do you think they're going to react?
This attack's
I
way
look
worse
over
than they
at
could have
Garmor.
imagined.
I'll go over more. They will assume that we are sick. We can't have that right now.
You let it go. And don't
We
say
just need to leave.
what's happening. You let this one go.
It's a concern, but it's a concern that is on a totem pole than another concern.
Look, I get that you are angry and you want to hate and destroy everything. I get that. I've done that. But you need to let this part go. The man who is always angry and spiteful is telling you to let this one go. It's not worth it.
Let him have the justice that naturally came to him.
He will die anyway. They don't even know what's wrong with him.
Does Merle have any thoughts on
nice.
this?
I'm
Cool.
concerned if this guy has a plague, he might spread it to the group, so we might want to at least share how to treat it.
We can help ourselves. We can't help this guy.
I'm not referring to just this guy, I mean the troops escorting us.
Well, hopefully they don't have it, but we'll see. We're all okay, as far as I'm aware.
Garmor withdraws his scimitar, sheathes it, and walks away.
Thank God. How do all the guards respond? The old 10 of them.
They step back. They have put hanker bandanas over their faces and have sheathed their blades. Anybody that was in 15 feet of the sewer plague guy needs to give me a DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
Is this a disease?
It's a disease, so if you're immune to disease,
I am
yeah,
immune, yeah. Okay.
I hate you.
Well, I have a lot of immunities, thankfully.
What? Is it venereal? She's so funny.
I rolled a 4, but I'm gonna cast Lesser Restoration on myself.
What about you, Cecil?
Wonderful.
I rolled an 11.
As we walk away.
Hey, whoa,
kinda
hang
like-
on a second.
Okay.
How do you know you have it?
Oh, I guess that's a good point.
Garmor
Just in
cast Lesser Restoration, but how would you know you have it?
Precaution.
That's true.
Say, I think check more.
I would say out of
Depends on the
anybody,
We've
he
been
would
around
probably
it.
know the most if he was afflicted.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking. But okay, so here's
But-
where I'm torn. You know, you attempted to get afflicted because I had to do it safe, but technically,
Right.
the symptoms don't
passive.
show for 1d4 days. So, 1d4 hours. Sorry.
This also a preventive measure more than anything else, so.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. All right. Sorry. Continue.
Alright.
So does Lesser Restoration affect just Garmor?
Yes.
Yes.
However,
Okay.
I am a paladin. And paladins have this wonderful thing called lay on hands.
Guess what it does?
Cures diseases. If I spend
How
5 points.
Fitting.
So as we're kind of walking away, I give you a small pat on the back, and it says, "Thank you." And that was my thanks to you for stepping into the situation. You are now cured of the sewer plague. Do not expect such kindness again.
He's such a dickhead about it.
Because the only reason I even did it was because you stepped in, and I know that I can't be harmed by these things.
How very Bakugo of you.
For being healed. Do not
You're being healed. Don't do it again.
Jara pushes through the crowd and he says, "What is going on here?
Some nonsense.
I
We need to
heard you
carry
are
on."
drawing blades on my soldiers. Is this true?"
Not your soldiers.
What?
Huh?
Do you know that? You don't know
You
that.
wouldn't. He
I don't.
doesn't
I
know
guess I
that.
don't.
Only
Yeah.
Cecil knows that.
Oh.
Right.
So what is this I've heard of you drawing blades upon my soldiers?
It's
Um,
been handled, and it won't happen anymore.
There was a miscommunication, I believe.
Right.
A very, very
With-
large one.
With the language barrier, I can understand that. It's very tough on everybody. We don't know what
For
we
me
would
to be
do without the two of you. Osif walks out and he says, "I was hoping for good time."
Zorax's ears kind of perk. Good time.
Good
I
time.
bet.
Not in years.
I pat Osip on the side and I say, "Thank you for the good time earlier."
I
And
don't
he
like the way
didn't
you said
back
that.
on
That
the
really, that he's like, listen,
Wow.
I enjoyed good time, but maybe you want to rethink that.
You
I
hear?
say, "Thank you for taking out the Loxodon."
It was good time.
Good time.
They all hear a loud groan. Can we please get moving?
Yes,
You're
yes,
the
we
one that
have.
decided to pull a blade on a man, so you can blame yourself. Thank you.
I'm not
Hopefully you
responding
said
to
that in
that.
common.
You don't have to. Just know
That's
that you're
funny.
the one in the wrong. You caused your own problems. Karma came quick.
All right, let's keep moving though.
I agree.
So as you guys start making your way, you end up walking through another part of the precinct one. The soldiers let you know, yes, that we have entered the Plaza East. It's our last stop before we enter precinct 2.
So do we have the benefits of a long rest then, or no?
What?
Short
Oh
rest.
no, short rest.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah, you got a short rest.
Okay.
And the area you enter is slightly different. The area is home to, and Jara and the NPCs, point out that it's home to many government officials, and it offers temporary housing for diplomats. Stately homes intermingle with, more modest apartments. As you get farther from the center of Precinct 1 and farther away from the guild hall, it becomes a little more modest, and you start to find transportation by carriages kind of around the area, and you do spot the palanquins being carried with some very well-off people.
Sure.
Pleasantly plump, I guess would be the right word. If I can get away with saying that without being cursed online. Probably not.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Everyone, correct. Huh? I am pleasantly plump, honey. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, I think I need to go cry now. But thus is the price of delicious cake and pie and ice cream. And
Yes.
hamburgers and cheeseburgers and pretty much everything I eat that I'm not supposed to.
Moving on back into the game, please.
Yeah, I feel like I want to spend a little more time on this now because I don't like when you do that to me. But nice try. So donuts are a good thing. I really like those, depending on where I go. During the travels, you guys, during the ride, you guys overhear some rumors as you're passing by the chatter. So why doesn't everyone give me perception checks?
Do I have to though? Because I don't understand a single word they're saying.
Good point.
Okay, so Cecil and
good.
Zorax give me perception checks because yes, you're right.
I hear nothing. I got a 3.
And I got
Oh.
a 6, so I guess I'm also hearing nothing.
Well,
Well, 7, I guess. But
well, you guys
that's
hear
not bad.
stuff, but it'll be different what you hear. I want to give a huge shout out to Garwin in his "The Everything Makes Sense" world. He says, I'm in another world, in the middle of these people's seat of power. I'm outnumbered 100,000 to 1, at least. Hey, you know what's a great idea? Pulling my sword on a sick soldier. That's funny.
That's kind of how it felt for me. I was just like, yeah, this is very, very smart.
But this is why I think this setting is so different than other, like, regular Faerun, right? Because
Absolutely.
there's people everywhere in most cases. Don't get me wrong, there are some barren places and stuff that are more foresty, but for the most part, all the districts are huge cities. All right,
Yep.
so you overhear some middle-aged woman. Her face is really weird. It's split down the side, and half of it is like a dark blue, and the other half is like a green. And from your discussions with some of the soldiers, that you've identified that as a Simic, somebody who's kind of altered biomechanical
Bioengineered?
Well, they're not engineered. They actually are like attached, right? Like they're not grown that way. Bioenhanced, maybe.
Okay.
Anyway.
Mechanically put together.
Yeah, because they're not like grown that way. They like, oh, I
Right.
want a new arm. Here's a tentacle, But anyway, so it's the Simic person. She says, "Oh dear, did you hear that all that commotion yesterday evening at the Opera House? It appears that a couple of dignitaries went missing. They say some man with an oversized weapon who spoke a language they didn't understand just assaulted them.
Oh.
I bet you that he's from that terrible place that fell from the sky. Those alien creatures. It's just so... Why hasn't the guilds done anything about it? I don't understand. And these are kind of things you overhear as you're walking, and you get kind of a lot of this. Basically,
I use, the ones that we specifically overhear,
mhm.
I subtly do like a prestidigitation so nobody knows and make them smell something awful.
So they do
Pretty-
what? What is the goal? To get them to stop talking or to
Yes.
move away? All right. And during this process, what is that? And then she looks at the soldier. She's like, oh, it's them. Shall we carry on? And they kind of skitter away. And you do this multiple times throughout the trek.
I look at that one in specific that you targeted, and I make it so she starts hearing ominous whispers all around her
Yes.
because I have thaumaturgy.
Well, I
So
mean,
she's-
nobody would have known I cast anything anyway, but
Yeah.
Well, I would have noticed she kind of looked our direction, kind of did like
Yeah.
a, and I can also hear her and understand her.
right, yeah.
So
So
she
she's
kind of
just-
she kind
I
of
hope
looks
she
over.
gets paranoid.
Well, you gotta understand though, you're in the territory of the Orzhov, who worship life after death. So for
Oh.
them, not uncommon for ghosts to be talking to people. They're literally
amazing
run
for
by
that.
spirits.
I guess that's a good point. Didn't really
But
think about that.
she kind of looks out and she says, "It's got chilly here. Shall we go?" And they just kind of move on. See, that's
I
that's
must
the
have
other.
been Jerry.
Yes, that bastard. He fell off that cliff. He got what he deserved. I thought you pushed him. No, he fell, and you see her wink. Anyway, so as you guys are approaching this massive wall, it now appears to you, Merle, you've been flying up overhead, kind of getting a good view. And as you guys reach the eastern part of Precinct 1, you approach this, 300 foot wall. And it now occurs to you, Merle, that all the precincts, as you look in the distance, you can see that the walls go as far as you can see. Each precinct must be completely encased by these Titan-sized walls. Haha, see what I did there?
Haha, I see what you did
Pretty
there.
good. It's a big
And
fucking wall.
Jara says, "It's impressive, isn't it?"
I have never seen such a structure this large, aside from the what was it called? The thing the thing that got us that pulled that had the
What?
planetar in it.
Oh, the
was
companion.
The companion?
I haven't seen anything like this since the companion.
You have a companion that's that size?
Nah.
No, it was a horrible weapon. used by the life of a celestial being.
Ooh, man, hang on, shit.
Hell is worse than the imagination, to
Hang on,
put bluntly.
there's a guild of angels. Hang on a second. I don't remember which one it is.
Oh yeah, there is, isn't there? It's the
Are you saying this as the player?
Well, I'm
Yeah,
going to.
as the player,
I'm going. Yeah.
I forget that
is
there
it
is.
Boros? Ah, it's Boros. It says. Ah.
yeah, Boros does.
You had a
Oh,
device
yeah.
that could capture one of the members of the Boros. That is
Well,
impressive.
It was
Angels
not our
are powerful
device.
creatures.
They are, and it's horrifying to see that one was in such a state.
I see. With that, we will have to make our way through the Augustin station to pass between the precincts. For obvious reasons, he points at the walls. This is a reason all the guilds can act so independent of each other. And each area, each precinct can be so different. The walls segregate us, allowing us to keep to ourselves if we so choose, but still connect when necessary. As you're making your way through the Augustin station, it's something you haven't really seen before. Hang on a second. I don't know if I see. Whatever. Oh shit! I lost my page. No. There we go. We're good. You see something you've noticed, but has really got Merle intrigued. On occasion, he had seen from Elturel these floating devices, basically these long boat-like structures with circular rings floating around them. They look like flying boats. Here, there are dozens of them docked. The Augustin, in Jara kind of tells, this is the Augustin station. We are at the western edge of Griffin Heights in Precinct 1, or in Precinct 2. Travelers from all over Ravnica are carried in various forms of air travel, from gondolas hung from the giant balloons, and he kind of points at some of them, to compartments strapped to the back of enormous floating beasts bred by the Simic Combine, which is very intriguing. And then you can see the few over there, and he points to a few of the flying boats. Those are the aircraft of the Izzet. I'm going to be honest. They're dangerous. And I'm not talking about the fact that they're armed with weapons. You see the little floating crystals?
Yeah.
Sometimes they just stop working. Or worse, they blow up. And I'm going to be honest, it matters not how
Okay.
fast those are, because I give them credit, they go 10 times faster than any other ship that we have, but they also blow up 10 times as often. So, if ever
Agreed.
offered an opportunity, I recommend taking one of the... It doesn't actually tell me what the name of the beast is. That's kind of dumb. I recommend taking the floating gondolas. Honestly, that would be... It's safer. Yes, it's slower. Just keep that in mind. A friendly warning from soldier to soldier.
I nod approvingly. Thank you.
Do not threaten me with a good time.
Give me an investigation, Merle.
Wow, that is a really pathetic investigation roll for Merle. We can use Flash of Genius, add 5 to it, and make it 18.
It's such a pitiful roll. Okay, I'm gonna get an 18 now. So, you are quickly drawing up basic blueprints to some of these sketches and putting like question marks and notes to ask questions about the various features, and you start kind of speculating on how they work. You have noticed that there's a strange sound that emanates from the crystals, suggesting they may be sonic based, using sound waves to allow them to travel.
Hmm.
But it's only speculation, as you know, you don't get a chance to tinker with it yet.
Hey, Merle, we used to work with some weird crystals at one point, didn't we? Remember that time when we almost blew up an entire cathedral?
Sadly, that does not narrow it down.
Uh, you know, when I got this nice little handy-do and I unsheathed the sword a little bit, and all those horrible things happened.
Oh, yeah, I still have some. Hold up some red crystals.
You still carry
You
those
still
around?
have those, don't you? I am so glad. I forgot you had those.
Oh my god.
Well, we heard we could use them to augment stuff, so we were like,
Yes.
ooh.
And it was meant to
Shiny.
go into this, but I honestly still forgot. Because that was the plan, right? That you can use
Yeah.
them
And you
in
said
his
treat them as a necklace
devices.
of fireball.
So
Other
Yes.
purposes.
do I see Zorax's face when the crystals come out?
With like a nice little smile, like, ah, yes, good memories. That's what you see. I'm not wearing a mask anymore. Before, you wouldn't be able to say that. But since I fell from grace, I have also lost the mask that hid all of my hatred. It's all synonymous. It's all synonymous. Symbols. It's all symbolism.
Right?
I was gonna say it's.
Aim.
I just realized how off-center that is, and it looks ridiculous. Why anybody?
But yeah, you do. You see me kind of chuckle and smile like, ah, yes, good times. Although good times when I
Good
said
time?
cathedrals blowing up was
You hear
probably
good
not what you
time?
expected.
No, no.
And Orsiv comes barreling in. Good time. Who said good time? Do we have time for good time?
I don't believe so.
They notice that at
He's
the
already
corner of
drawn
their
a
eye,
circle.
face palm of from Garmore.
Oh,
I'm
it's
so
funny.
glad we brought Osiv.
I love Osiv. Good time.
I give him a pat on the shoulder and say, "I'm glad you came."
He says, "Me too. Good time." All right. With that, you guys continue your trek through the out of the Augustin station of air travel, and make your way through the precinct 2, passing and once you pass the gate and exit Augustin station, in the distance you can see the largest temple-like building that you could ever imagine. The entire thing is about the size of El Terrell. It is massive. And there is a large stretch walkway, kind of if you think like the Great Wall of China type thing, that kind of leads to it. And on this high walk, the city is now below you. There's like a height difference between the precinct you just came out of and the one you entered. The one you entered is lower, but there's a platform that goes all the way to the new prov that leads into it, and you can see down below you, probably it's not much, maybe like 100 feet. You can see that there are small houses and modest apartments, and you can see commercial shops are, sprinkled throughout the entire, area that you can see. It's very much more familiar to you than what you've seen so far. But once again, you're seeing from a distance. As you've been making your way down this main thoroughfare, that wall thing that's connecting the new prawl, you pass a group of 10 foot tall granite statue of Boris Legion soldiers, stands in the small park in the area of Whetstone, which is the immediate area outside of Augustin Station, and it's kind of in the center area, and you can see it from kind of like a Central Park in New York, right? How you got all
Right.
the buildings, and there's one little area you can see that
It just doesn't have like a bunch
yeah.
of buildings, yeah.
Yeah. And there are trees there. Wink, wink
Big
to
trees.
Garmore.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see them off in the distance. And as you're passing by it, Jara kind of notices you guys take a peek, and he says, during the, oh my gosh, the decamillennial celebration 76 years ago, Argus Koss became a hero by foiling various schemes to undermine the Guild Pact. His statue has become a social gathering point for war veterans, mob contacts, and spies who talk as they play various strategy games. It's quite a fun locale. It's a hotbed for the Demir, any kind of sneers, but so is life, I suppose. And with that, you guys, do you guys have any questions for him about that stuff? Anything I said, the Guild Pact or anything?
Did he say there was like a name of a guy that's there?
Yeah, it's a giant statue to a Boris Legion member, Argus Koss.
Argus Koss. Okay.
You do know who that is? Do you need me
Yes.
to publicly tell everyone, or will you Google that privately?
I'll Google it.
Okay. Unless somebody asks, then I'll say you can Google it and tell them what it is, since you know. Does anybody want to know who he is?
Actually, I'm
Armor's not
struggling with the
interested.
Google. Go ahead and just say it.
All right. Well, I was thinking that if you Googled it, you would be able to deliver it without me doing it and then you delivering it. So, hang on a second. Gotta siphon through this shit.
So he's a war hero.
Of course. A veteran, a great veteran, honestly. He was an officer of the League of Wojek in the Boros Legion. From a young age, Kos believed in upholding the law as an orphan. His only dream was to join the Boros and protect the citizenry of Ravnica. Honestly, Kos epitomized the tough, straight cop archetype. Complete with a drinking problem and a distaste for the rookie, is going to be honest. But despite his, he did have a bit of problem in his basic training, but after his rocky start, he really came into his own as a hero, ending several of the assassination attempts on the Selesnian Conclave by see, that's weird. Either I'm reading that wrong or it doesn't say that right. Huh, that's weird. He continues to ramble on about how he was this great hero, and he specialized in stopping people who were creating conspiracies around breaking the Guild Pact. Specifically, learning that Savra was Savra, who he doesn't say who it is, but a person named Savra who's somehow involved in a conspiracy that brought the bounty hunter Jared back into his life. The further the group moved into the morass of plots and schemes, the more they realized what was at stake. Culminated. It all culminated in the Decamillennial, a celebration of the Guild Pact. Sazdak triggered his plan to kill Matt Selznia. With Savra's death, attempting to put an end to the Guild Pact, along with the ancient Peyron, Jared and Koss were able to stop the vampire's plan at the last second, and Koss arrested the Demir guild leader for his crimes. It was a glorious moment for us, I'll tell you.
So there's vampires here as well.
Oh,
Interesting.
yes. They run several of them. In fact, one of the guilds is run by a vampire, if you give me a second. Because I haven't got all this shit memorized. I knew this was going to be the risk of having so many different factions.
There's so much to know about the 10 guilds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really kicks me in the
Regardless,
balls. Yes,
we
one
should
runs
probably
one of the
push
guilds.
forward.
Yes. Was there any other questions? Anybody want to know what the Guild Pact is?
Mm,
Board.
No, not at all. Okay.
I don't think it particularly pertains to us since we're just trying to look for a way out.
Not yet.
Well, yeah, I guess not yet. We'll see.
Yeah, the big celebration is part of that. All right, so, shit, I lost my page now. So you guys can continue your trek, and the closer you get, the size of the new prov just becomes so obscene. You have never seen a structure of this magnitude and of this size.
Wonder how you could even build such a thing.
With magic, of course. And fine dwarven craftsmanship, if I do say so myself.
Jara, a dwarf?
What? No. Not that you can tell. But doesn't mean he can't appreciate it.
Okay.
That's a fair point.
So the trek continues, and you guys come to the massive gates of this just ginormous building or structure. I don't want to call it building because it's a collection of buildings, right? It's
Right.
It's not just one. Jesus.
The Stova column.
Yeah. See, this is so weird. Like, I don't. Wizards of the Coast, I really love what you do, but I do not like how this book is organized.
You're
It
there
makes it-
with first
I've-
level pop-ups.
It's very reminiscent of that, yes. All right, so as you are getting close to the Prov, it's clearly the tallest structure and largest structure in the area. The austere new Prov consists of 3 towering columns, reminding everyone of the omniscient presence of the Azoria Senate. Each column is explained by Jara as a headquarters for one of 3 branches of the Senate. Inside, as you guys are escorted inside, Jara meets with one of these guardians. And at first what you took for a statue actually is not a statue. It is a massive creature. Hang on a sec. Let me get you a good description here so it really comes across good.
Is it the Cyclops?
What? No. That would have been dope as hell, though. So you see... Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You see this cat-like creature with like a tiger tail with massive wings that remind you of a parrot with the blues and the reds, with the face of a female, long flowing hair, and the front paws of a tiger and the body of a tiger. And she says, "Who approaches the great new Prov?" And you realize what you thought was a statue of a sphinx is actually a sphinx.
Right.
Go ahead.
Huh. I guess it wouldn't be that surprising for me because I could just see its soul when I get close, but it's still just like
That's
jarring
still
to be
weird.
like, I knew these things were alive and it's horrifying.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Jara, who have you brought to us today? And he continues to introduce each of you. It's always a pleasure to meet new guests that aren't here for causing a crime. It's so rare. So,
I have no idea how much willpower it took Merle to not say day's not over yet.
oh Jesus.
Well, the day's not over yet.
So her cat-like eyes dart from each of you. So, you may not be familiar, but there's an ancient custom here in New Prov. Upon entering the gate, you must answer a riddle. It's no longer required, which is a shame, because they used to allow me to enjoy those who were wrong.
Zorax is just thinking in his mind, oh, thank God.
Ever since the guild pack, I've had Anyways, that's no here nor there. I miss the good times. None of the
Explosive.
criminals want to ever accept a riddle. Would either any of you be interested? I have a lifetime's worth. Jara looks, she says, you don't actually have to answer Sarah's riddles. You can
Sarah.
just go in. But I guess it's up to you.
I have more pressing matters than having my brain being battled
Her
by a sphinx who is probably much older than I am.
her tail flickers in annoyance, very much like what most cats do. It's just like
I wouldn't know. Never had a cat. My dad's allergic, which is a
well,
shame.
its tail flickers in annoyance.
I also suppose these
Maybe
two
a-
don't know that there's going to be a riddle. We would have to relay that to them.
That's true. Don't get her word wrong. Oh, you wouldn't. You mastered it.
Yeah. I look over at
Actually-
Cecil.
I think sphinxes can telepathy too. Hang on.
Oh, they
Ah,
might
well,
actually know what it's saying.
unpleasant.
That's a good point.
Let me check. I think they can. They actually
Would
have
that
telepathy.
defeat the language barrier still, or would it be just a language inside their head?
With telepathy?
Yeah.
Telepathy doesn't require you to know the language as far as I remember.
Just understand, I think, right? But
You
you
just have to
understand any
understand
language.
Any language, yeah.
Yeah. They
Okay.
do have telepathy. They do have
So she just
telepathy.
knew that I said, oh shit, in my brain.
I know.
That's funny.
A 100% thing in my brain then. Ask me your riddle, Tiger Lady.
Oh,
Ah. Wonderful. So exciting.
So it's just like,
So-
I'm moving on.
So as you guys all start kind of walking, Merle is sitting there. He says,
He's like, yeah.
what can bring back the dead? Make you cry. Make you laugh. Make you young. Is born in an instant, yet lasts a lifetime. Can you solve my riddle, young one?
Skill check is that?
That would totally be straight intelligence.
2.
22. So as you're going through all the possible meanings and hidden, in between the line coding, you have a memory pop in your head. That's the answer.
Memory.
Wow, that was impressive. That took you all of a few seconds. This is exciting. Please, when you are finished with your business here and you are not thrown in prison, please consider stopping by and joining me again. It's always so much fun to watch
It's
the
like the
mind
creepy
work as it solves.
Clerk desk lady.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch the way a mind works when it's trying to push past a riddle, to unlock its secrets, to delve into the deep ocean of the complicated structures. It's just so enticing. And she does that thing where like a cat's like back like arches and she stretches out. And then she sets back on her haunches and well then, thank you, Burl, for this wonderful piece of entertainment. And as you guys are walking by, you hear a flicker. And Jonathan, I'll see you again later. Everyone, just all the soldiers look at one little tiny scrawny soldier guy who's got 3 books attached to his shoulder strap.
It's just like,
He just waves and he's like, okay.
it's like,
So you guys,
oh,
hang on a
Some
second.
cat thing for furries. Got it.
I don't think that's how that goes, but okay. So you guys, let me check something here. You guys continue walking through, and the area is quite just fantastic and gorgeous. Imagine massive, immaculate, uh, crafted obelisks and intricate filigree in the stone structures. There is a massive fountain in the center. The water comes up, drizzles over, and then feeds out, and then there's rings of water. And then on the outside, once you've entered inside this major structure, you can see like the basically 3 giant skyscrapers with dozens of little buildings. It's almost like a tiny city inside of this building. It's very strange. And this part is actually open to the sky elements. Do you guys what are you doing as you are making your way through this? And you're being guided by Jara. There are sphinxes everywhere. There are birds with really, probably about the size of turkeys, with tails that are so long and multicolored. They're beautiful. You swear they look like a rainbow when they fly. But there are sphinxes everywhere. And some of them have, are just loafing. Others are, laying down with on their haunches with their paws crossed, reading a book or scroll or something.
I asked Jara, have you ever seen an angel fall here?
I
suppose we're not in the Boros Legion.
No, you're not. But he says, yeah, soldiers, they die all the time.
That's not what I was referring to. Have you ever seen an angel fall from grace in this land?
He takes a deep breath and says, that is unfortunately something that happens. The choice.
My condolences.
The selfish choices they make. They're punishing in different ways to different people, but to an angel, a celestial, it's a fate worse than death, or so I'm told.
Perhaps you're right. Perhaps it is.
Okay. Then.
As Zorax is clearly like not trying to reveal his face at all, as he's trying to like hide the fact that yes, he is a fallen angel.
That's funny. He doesn't seem to particular notice, because you got to understand, as you've been making it through this, there has been just a massive variety of creatures, especially because of the way the bio enhancing works in the Simic world. There is a variety of different. I mean, there's a lot of humans, but they come in all. You've passed elves, dwarves, halflings. Yeah. I mean, walking elephant people. Never seen that before. That's new. Haven't seen no dragons yet, or anything like that. But it's very diverse here in District 10 in Ravnica.
Garmor is keeping an eye out for what he would assume to be druids, although he hasn't met a druid that's Ravnican.
Mm-hmm.
As a player, I would assume they're probably rare, seeing as there's not much in terms of wildlife in this entire plane of existence.
Well, there is the Selesnya Enclave, as far as you've seen.
Yeah.
So there are druid circles. But as far as go ahead.
I was gonna say, since we're in like the Azorius Senate's area, right? I imagine this is probably a common place for a lot of the guilds to meet up, seeing as this is probably like a place for all of them to meet up and make some form of laws or whatever, right?
I would say higher up of social status, but most of it is just the Azorius Guild doing all the rulings. That is their job.
Gotcha.
People come here for judgment and to offer the creation of bills and ideas, but in the end, the guild members of the Azorius Guild members are 100% in charge of that. So the way it works is, and this would probably have been, you guys have been able to kind of gather some of this from talking, each guild has a responsibility to the plane's existence. For the Azorius, it's creating the laws, right? And dealing
Right.
out judgment. For the Boros Legion, it's being the standing military to protect all of the guilds, even if they don't agree. The Golgari, they are the trash collectors.
Right.
Disposal.
Okay.
Disposal unit, I guess. Yeah, okay, I found kind of what I was looking for. I'm trying to find a really good description of inside of these places. Like, I haven't found one, and it's kind of frustrating, I'm going to be honest, of, like, what this particular area, like, inside here looks like. It doesn't actually give me a whole hell of a lot, which is kind of obnoxious. So I might have to just come up with my own kind of, this is what I think it looks like, and go with that. Page 33 again.
I also kind of go up to Cecil, and I kind of like motion you to kind of be a little bit out of earshot of the others. It's up to you whether or not you want to accept my invite.
I do think it's a good idea. So
I guess
I'll
we could speak in Ravnican and no one would know.
Except for everyone else that's not in your party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of ask you, what do you know? And I kind of like look down at my sword and I look back up at you.
I tell Zorax, I've learned your blade needs blood. Beyond that is for what you're willing to tell me.
What is your opinion on the matter? You know that it is the way it is. So where do you stand on it?
It could be useful in the right situation.
He kind of nods like approvingly, like, okay. I just wanted to assess how you, I guess, what your position was and your feelings towards what I need to do, unfortunately.
I add, it would be nice to know more about it. More about it just for security.
Does the blade speak at all during this?
The blade is preoccupied because the person that's voicing him is reading something. So,
I guess that's fair.
he does mention that the last blood was something he has never tasted before, and it's very delicious. It's
During the whole
otherworldly.
journey, to get to the new prof, Garmore has been distant from even his own party.
I tell Cecil, unfortunately, I do not know how much I would be willing to share with it, but and I have to look this up just in case because I want to know if I can say something kind of cool here, but maybe not. We'll see.
And there.
Because I have to look up what the sword exactly does, but you know.
Yeah. This is what happens when your player uses a plot point to turn an artifact item to their use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that.
That was a mind-numbing conversation. Hey, can I do this? Fuck.
Good night.
Sure.
I don't think I've asked this to Austin. Did you know that was gonna happen?
Parts of it. Parts of it. Not all of it. Can it? No, just with its wielder. So I say, but should the situation arise and should this blade tell me, you will know more if it comes up.
With this, You guys have now been kind of wandering and looking around everything, and a sphinx flies down. This one looks significantly different than the one outside. It's very dark and dreary, and imagine like Gandalf's head, uh, like on the end of this thing. It's got the big beard. It's got a lion's tail, and it's got falcon-like wings as it lands with the beat of its wings, and it says, "Jorah, the newcomers. Esperia awaits in the Chamber of Judgment. Your soldiers can wait here, though I do not think... No, they are no longer needed. Your duty is fulfilled. We will contact you should we need aid again, Captain." And he kind of begins bickering back and forth with the thing, saying he wants to see this through. You can see the frustration of the Sphinx, and he just goes, "I was told if you refuse that you may stay with them, but your soldiers must go. You know that we do not allow the military into our chambers when not needed. So please, head out. If you wish for them to wait for you, they may outside."
I suggest that they wait.
I see. It turns its head towards each of you, one in turn, and says, "The judge will see you now. Please follow me." And he kind of just, I want to say, prances as he walks. Do you ever watch in The Lion King? Scar does a turnaround, he does, and then he I don't know, I can't explain it, but he kind of slyly walks away as you guys, do you guys give chase?
Yeah. I mean, as long as there's no stipulations on anything else that we have to do here, then yes, absolutely.
Okay. So,
Like laying down our weapons or whatever.
nope, they don't make you do any of that stuff.
I suppose they wouldn't need to when you have a giant thing like that guarding your doors.
Oh, you're so adorable. So as you, it leads you, you wander for a good 20-30 minutes through this complex building, and you can kind of, you take a set of stairs up to a terrace, and on the terrace, it opens out to a big circular, and I mean big, like, I say, several thousand feet in diameter. And there's on the
Wow.
terrace is a arcing bridge that goes to a center pillar that has water streaming around one lower level that runs up like imagine it's like a fountain. The water goes up the inside and drizzles down the edge in like segments around the outside, so it's flowing down in this just beautiful arcing pattern. The arcing bridge goes to the top, and he says, he flies a little bit and says, "This way." And he flies along the arcing terrace as you guys make your way across. You see Merle is kind of just floating on the other side, taking interest in everything. This massive chamber has got just the most beautiful wall architecture around that you've seen since you've arrived. But the most interesting thing is that right as you get to the center pillar, you see that there's one massive platform. And when I say massive, hundreds and hundreds of feet, like football field size. And the Sphinx says, "Esperia will arrive shortly for your judgment. Is there
Oh, boy.
anything I can do for you?"
I think we just need to wait for Asperius.
Well, if you need anything, please ask somebody else. And and he floats, but he floats all around the platform to stand behind you guys. And then he kind of drops on his haunches in all fours in the very classic Sphinx statue form, right? So Isperia, a few minutes pass, an hour passes. What are you guys doing in this time while you're waiting for this judge?
Playing solitaire, probably.
Playing with some bone dice.
Some bone dice? Any gambling?
Probably.
Yeah.
Garmor unlatches his wooden shield and just ties it to his backpack.
I choose to reiterate the importance of why we are here. So I take a puff of the pipe and I say, far as the Azoria knows right now, our city landed on top of their city, and the other guilds view us as hostile, especially after what just happened. There's a big fight in the middle of the city. We need to be proven to be peaceful.
Right. Well, I mean, we can only do what we can, I suppose, by this point. I mean, our fate's in their hands at this point.
Well,
Honesty is our friend here.
Although
honesty is our friend here.
last time I tried to fight with fate, and I looked down at the once like pieced together mask I had worn throughout the last campaign. Last time I had a run with fate, I changed it, but we'll see how this goes.
I like that. I like that a lot. So
He still carries it around. It's his holy symbol, after all.
So as you are waiting, you look across. Remember, you got the massive platform that's hundreds of feet away from you, and then you see these 10 small balconies just below that, and you see you see waterfalls. There's 10 waterfalls, and they part for just a second to reveal balconies, and out of the balconies comes 10 people. Now they're pretty far away in the distance. I would say, like a football field away. And they are just they're sitting upon these massive seats that were pulled in on wheels, and each seat is very different. One of the people that you see is clearly similar. Hang on a second. I want to. Okay, hang on. I want to make sure that I get this right because it's important.
Right.
Excuse me. Okay. All right. So for one of them, you see a disfigured undead type creature. In the distance, you can see like a rotted face. On another one, you see just a head of a massive dragon poking out from underneath the water with red scales and stuff, just kind of sitting fresh. And they each have their own little servants. You see one of the waterways separate, and almost a tree grows out from behind it and creates like I don't know what that I don't know, like an umbrella, right, to shade the overhead sun. Oh, there we go. That's why I did that wrong. You see another shadowy like figure that is kind of kept in the dark, and it's hard to distinguish anything. Cecil, you recognize this. You know this is Tristani, the guild master of the Demir. And they all continue to kind of pop out. And I think I got that wrong. Sorry, the girl with the canopy, that is Tristani, the Selznia Conclave, not the guild leader of the other one. That was my bad. Getting ahead of myself. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyways, I'll worry about that if it becomes important, because this is gonna take forever. So
Right.
you basically see a bunch of these people clearly of importance, standing on these little balconies, pointing, and almost you can feel them kind of judging you. Then you hear a constant. The air around you is shaking. The thrumming of the vibration sounds like thunder. And then you are stunned to see breaking through the clouds the largest sphinx you have ever seen. Its wingspan is hundreds of feet wide. Its face is the size of a small structure.
That one's a biggin.
No,
I've
it
seen
does.
Zariel face to face. This is massive.
And you
Oh
see
my
it
god.
as it lands on that football field size platform with a loud. You see this Leonin body with the head that is as big as a merchant's building, broad multi-gray white winged feathers, enormous forepaws. She tucks them and folds them in front of her, and her face looks much more human than some of the other ones, and is framed by purple hair. And she has this massive jewel on her head, and is wearing a sort of armor around her body. Her tail lashes back and forth, and when it does, it makes a big through the air.
Oh my.
And she looks down, and with a thundering boom, verbally and in your mind, newcomers, welcome to New Prov. I will have you know, I am not happy that you have interrupted my nap.
Ah.
So, I have gathered the information. Well, it was told to me. This meeting, and she talks in a very slow and thought out manner. This meeting is to determine your judgment. So, do you plead innocent or guilty?
Well, that entirely depends on the charge leveled against us.
It's a fair point.
It's one that is simple. Did you kill thousands of people? Did you murder many innocents in Precinct 1? This is the primary charge against you.
I
Roll.
I would actually argue.
Oh yes. Murder.
No, because it wouldn't have been murder. It was if it's anything like, it would be almost as something as crazy as like unnatural disaster is what has happened to us.
I stop Zorax for a minute, and I say, before you came, we said we were going to be honest. And I think it's time for me to finally be perfectly honest. And you guys see the person that you knew as Cecil completely change. The face of the man goes completely white. His eyes turn white. And I say, as you now see, I am not who you thought I was. My name is Echo. I am a changeling from the plane of Ravnica. Now,
Changeling, why have you come under false pretenses into my judgment chambers?
this is the exact reason I came. You see, I have been with the city of Eterel for quite some time now. As soon as their city landed on top of ours, I was with them, learning about them, and I can honestly say, what happened was a massive mistake, and they did not mean to kill these people.
Does this one speak for all of you?
Yes. At least with this information, yes. What happened?
So, you're pleading not guilty. Do I understand this correctly?
Plead not guilty to the charge of murder.
So, Echo,
Yes.
you say that it is not murder, that it is in fact an accident.
An accident that they wish to reverse.
I ask you this. Did you slay our Golgari soldiers? That would be the green insects you were killing when you arrived.
I mean, I
If we're
didn't,
going to
but-
be honest.
I didn't
Yes.
show up until after.
I- Zorax takes a step forward and he says, "Yes, in the name of whatever self-defense that you guys have established here, I did it to protect my people. We just wish to go home alive."
I see.
Been a very long journey to hell and back. Really.
What were you going to say, Garmore?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a counter question for you, Judge.
I don't know if we're allowed to ask the judge questions, friend. We are not the ones. But I mean, shoot your shot.
Berkeley, you don't know if he's not allowed to.
I mean, it's true, but it just seems kind of scary. Okay, go ahead.
Are we allowed to plead our reason for the events that brought us to your city?
Isperia's wings kind of, thump a little bit, and her tail kind of swings in a dismissive motion. As you will, Shifter.
I nod, and I inform her of the past events that brought us to Ravnica.
Such as the journey through Avernus, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah.
The journey through Avernus, the details of how that happened, the mystery of the plane shift.
Yeah, the
spell.
botched plane shift.
Had the spell had worked correctly, the innocence of Precinct 1 would still be alive. We had
Plane sh-
no intention of coming here. We wanted to return to our own plane of existence. To go home. And yet here we are.
I
Our arrival to
understand.
Ravnica is merely an accident.
So you say. So, if I am understanding this correctly, you arrived here by mistake, crushed Precinct 1, slaughtered the Golgari, fought with the Ozoff,
yeah, I guess we did.
all in the name of an accident.
Saying
Noting the O's also attacked the Legion.
Yes.
I add, let's be clear. This was all in their self-defense.
yeah,
And
saying that
nobody is... Sorry.
no, go ahead.
And nobody here is without blame for things that are happening. If the Azorius think they were perfect, they are not. If the Boros,
Listen here, Demir scum.
if it weren't for
The
the
law
Demir,
provides direction for every arena of life. It is the
I
only
never
compass
said
we
Demir.
need. Without it, without the Azorius, Ravnica would collapse. You know this. In the absence of
Boros-
order, we must establish it.
the Boros have the Orzhov. The Orzhov legions infiltrated them. How do you know they haven't infiltrated you? The soldiers outside right now, standing among them, are imposters. So who here is one also? I've shown myself. I've shown my honesty. What else is there to show on your part?
You, Demir, are a perennial thorn in my side.
Does that mean he's wrong?
I will tell you this.
Sorax gives like a cool little thumbs up. You're damn right.
I will tell you this. Your case that you are pleading is without doubt a well-placed one. As for infiltrators, highly unlikely. We are not easily as fooled as the rest of you. That being said, her tail kind of lashes, and you can see kind of all the other people of the guilds kind of getting kind of uncomfortable. You say there may be imposters.
Here
That
I
is a
am.
fight that everyone has to go through. But even so, that does not change why they are here. So your argument, your defense, is that it was in self-defense. So let me ask you. And you see one of the Demir, the person at the Demir
Like seat.
seat. Yes, thank you. step forward and nod their head and then step back in the shadow. Is there not one among you, who must sate their thirst for blood for no other reason than to be sated? If it is purely in self-defense, why is it reported to me that there is one among you who slays not in defense, but out of pleasure, out of need? Does this person exist among you? Echo, do you, as someone that has been around these people, do you believe that someone like this is among them? Do you know?
This answer depends entirely on what I am going to have to say next, so do with what you will. It is your character. If it means that I have to start fighting, hey man, it be that way.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean,
I say,
but I'm not gonna lie down dying.
that may be true. That there is one.
You can hear audible gasps come from the 10 people that, well, maybe not all 10 of them, but
Like 8 or so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say there may be one that has a certain affliction. I do not know all the details of it. Of all the knowledge I have collected, that is one thing that I do not have all of the information on.
Would the slayer of the will the Dark One step forward and claim and speak your defense for these heinous acts?
I suppose there can only be one person who can be referred to as the Dark One out of this group. The one who reeks of darkness, I presume that must be me.
Yes. Your
I'm sure it's not
stench is clear.
hard to see. So you ask if I am doing this or why I am doing this?
Tell me everything, for your future depends upon it. Not only your future, but it kind of waves its paw. The future of all your kind.
Well, where do I begin on this thing? I take the sword and I off like the scab, like I take the scabbard off of me and I kind of like yeah, I seem to have struggled trying to like release my grip from it, but I slowly put it down. I'm still
Minion,
attuned
don't!
to it, I suppose.
Don't you dare! You do not turn me over to those things. You understand me?
I speak to it telepathically. I'm not turning you over, don't worry. At least I don't intend to. But
You should
and
keep
then
your thoughts guarded better, little Dark One. Did you forget she's telepathic?
well, I assume I would have to be telepathic to them, not.
Yeah,
to
I
the
guess I
sword.
don't.
I guess it's.
I-
I'm not
I'll
really
let it-
sure how telepathy works on that.
Yeah,
one.
in my mind, I'm imagining like a broadcast.
Yeah, but
um,
it's not
But
quite.
yours is
I don't
tied
know.
specifically to your. But then
Weapon.
it would only hear one side of the conversation, though.
And in
Not
that
really
case,
sure.
Imagine what Merle's been thinking this entire time then.
Yeah, what has Merle been thinking?
I don't even know.
The whole memory of, hey, holy sword! Oh, it's evil now.
Oh God, it's evil.
Okay. Okay.
Zorax touched it.
So,
Yeah.
we're gonna assume collectively she's gathering this information from your minds, and she lets you continue. I'll say that she can't hear the conversation between you and him personally, because I really just don't know how that works. In my mind, she would, but I'm not gonna stiff you like that. Though I really
Right.
want to.
Echo's definitely been thinking Jara's a bitch for hating on the Demir.
That's the important thing.
That's important.
What about Garmore?
What have you been thinking?
Thinking of his perspective of his journey through Avernus, the fact that he was able to help a planetar lift the falling city of Elturel into the river Styx.
It was quite a journey. That whole adventure.
In your guys' memories, never mind. I'm gonna keep that to myself right now.
Cool. I tell the Sphinx. You are aware that we were brought into Avernus and our journey through there. Though the specific part of the journey that the one who had explained would not know is the one that me and Merle have gone through, where we were tested by a powerful angel named Zariel who had fell from grace. That, and I point to the sword, was the sword of Zariel. And I had... It was supposed to essentially rewrite an individual. And through mortal willpower that possibly only comes once in a lifetime, I had changed my fate that day, and I chose to become myself. But I have been cursed. There is a being that is far stronger than I am inside that blade. And it will consume everything.
I see.
And I have been struggling to find a way to cure the situation. I have hypotheses on it, but I mean, I can't test any of those, unfortunately. And nor do I wish to say what they are.
So
Fear
at
of
this
being
point, have you been explaining this? You look up and you realize her eyes are shut. And you're not sure if she's sleeping or if she's concentrating. Just one eye just kind of pops open. Are you finished?
Yes.
Does anybody have any other defense?
I don't believe anyone else even knows what the blade does. So they cannot help me.
Not on that, fool. On why you're here for the judgment. Try to keep up, please. I'm not fond of repeating myself.
The people of Elturel has a staggering number of innocent civilians that were dragged into the affairs of Avernus.
So did Precinct 1 that you crushed.
Precinct 1's the Orzhov, right?
Yeah.
The one that we crashed on.
At least they died quickly. The ones in Avernus definitely did not.
Yeah, another thought Echo...
Which is probably not a safe thought, but whatever.
Another thought Echo probably has read is that he's kind of glad it landed there rather than any other place.
Yeah. Just like, whew, glad that wasn't over.
Yeah.
Imagine one day you look up and there's just a city coming down and you're dead.
Garmore thinks and hopes that the judge reads his memories of the battle that night that the Golgari were targeting the innocent civilians mercilessly from his perspective of the situation.
I don't know if they could see the image of that. I'm not sure how telepathy works
He's
on that front.
assuming.
Telepathy is usually just thoughts and words, I think, or words. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't think you're conveying entire images, but I don't really think it matters in this case. If that's what you're trying to convey, you can think 1,000 words a second if you want. It doesn't. You
Right.
can relive the memories.
Yeah.
So he says,
The fact
"You
that
have pled
winged
your
creatures
case." Oh, God.
the fact that winged creatures took our leader and scampered off to who knows what has happened to him. He is a political figure who leads what remains of the leadership of our city. We don't know if he is dead or alive.
We've heard rumors that he
You
might be
speak
alive.
you speak of murder, yet you don't seem to care about how we come here or why we did, what our intentions were. You just care about the crime that we are alleged for.
Listen, foolish shifter. If that was the case, your entire city would cease to exist. Instead, what you have is an opportunity given by the guilds, though reluctant of some, to give you a platform to plead your case. So before you speak, think on your words. Do you understand me? You are here because we want to think about why you are here. If we truly believed it to be an invasion of a hostile enemy, your city would have already been burned to the ground. Do you understand?
Brings a good point.
Worth mentioning that some idiots did try to do that.
Yes, I understand that not all the guilds are within agreement. With any bureaucracy, this is always the case. I have to mull over our discussions and consult the rest of the guild masters. That fool
Makes sense.
Jace is not around, so he unfortunately will be excluded from this. But once I have judged you, should you be found innocent, we will do in our power whatever we can to help you return back to Faerun. Should our judgment turn that you are in the wrong, you and your commanders will be asked to surrender and turn yourselves in for punishment, and your people will be allowed to leave and live their lives. With that, it's time for my nap. So I shall return in 4 hours with my decision. Do you understand?
That's about as understandable as it can get, I guess, at this point.
Well then. I will retreat for now. And you see her do a big cat yawn with her back all arched and stuff, and her wings thump, and she takes off. And the gust of wind torrents you guys. I need a strength saving throw to not be knocked off the standing platform. DC 12.
Huh?
18.
23.
15.
Strength save? 19.
Everyone good?
Yeah,
Everybody's
Yep.
good.
we were all okay.
Um,
I guess all of you would have gotten a +5 for me anyway, so.
it slides you back a little bit, and the gust of wind is powerful. And as she takes off, you look down, and all the guild masters are gone.
Hmm.
The silver-haired Sphinx walks up and says, "Well, wonderful. I will be back in 4 hours. There's a chamber at the end of the bridge where you may wait. Do you have any questions?"
Yeah, how
Good.
doomed are we?
He starts flying away.
That sounds like very doomed. I walk back to
Um,
the sword and I pick it back up and I holster it.
Ooh. I turn to Jara, and I say, "You dumbass! You didn't even tell them. You didn't tell them they'd be judged. They came into this blind. How could you?"
I told them they
Also-
were going to the Chamber of Judgment. What did you think that meant?
They
But
had no
you
clue.
worry for nothing. If you truly are innocent, which I honestly believe you are, then that will be revealed.
You sure do believe in your government.
No,
Em-
I do not. I believe in the Supreme Judge Isperia.
Ah,
She,
that's more fair.
if she was not the one presiding over your case, you would have much more political influence affecting the outcome. This way,
That's
she
fair.
can see into your minds, which makes the
I know
process so much easier. Don't you think?
Oh, I know two things. She grabbed my brain, so you know what happened? I outlawed the devil.
But you cannot deny, as he looks at Zorax's blade, that thing is a problem.
It
If
is.
what she said is true, that is a problem.
Yeah.
And it's. You don't
Yeah.
really know what it does either.
Also,
Hey,
None of you do.
Corrupted blade cannot be good news for any. Still not let me look at them.
I hope you never have to touch this thing, Merle. For your sakes. As much as you want to. I don't want you to.
also,
Why
Justin,
not?
when
Let
does
me have a good time.
when does everybody realize that I've known Common and Ravnikin the whole time?
I don't know that they would have made that connection unless you told them. Well, they might now since
They-
you've admitted that you're from here.
They would now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've admitted I'm from Ravnica.
So now, now Jara's like, if you could speak it the whole time, why did we spend so much time with miscommunication?
I'm Demir. The more time means the more information. Means the more I get what I came for.
I suppose. All right. I think that's where we're gonna
It's been
end
a
it.
weird few months.
It has been a few weird months. I think that'll end for this episode of Planeshifters. Did you guys have a good day?
Yeah.
I'm glad. Before we close out, we'll go around really quick. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what do you like about the game. Let's start with Garmore.
Hello everyone, my name is Matthew and I play Garmore, the Moon Druid. This was an interesting session. I got to try conjure animals for the first time. To clarify, this is not conjure woodland beings as it's commonly mistaken as. This is conjure animals. This has been my first time using it, and I liked how it turned out. Although I thought I was gonna go harder than I believed, because it's a summon mob spell, if you will.
Mhm.
Mhm.
No, it's very
although-
simple.
Yep.
This situation was a little different because of the way I chose to treat the the battle as more lair actions. So I ended
Yeah.
up utilizing your damaging of those, just weakening the damage it was doing, showing as
Right.
the things were being killed off. So I think that worked out for this style of play. Will.
Guessing that fireball made that one thing GTFO.
Oh, she's pissed. I got Tessa's information and stuff, and she's not gonna be happy with you.
Have a nemesis. I don't know about.
You have a nemesis.
I have
funny.
so many people on my kill list, dude. I've seen so many big bads get away from me. Zorax is having a rough time. He hasn't been able to get a good head count.
Yeah, I feel like this is the first time where I've actively made an effort for smart enemies to not stay till they're dead, because they're smarter than that. All right, Will.
Yeah, I'm Will, and I'm not playing Cecil Dune. I am Echo Falsehood.
Ah.
Hell yeah.
I love that.
I might have been able to. Justin, thank you for flavoring my sorcery spells as monk
No
moves all
problem.
this time.
That was so much fun.
I was wondering about them. Like, interesting.
Yeah, so any of the punches, kicks,
I was like, I don't remember the elemental monk being able to do wall of fire, but I'm like, I don't play monks. I don't know.
Haste for that matter.
Hey, haste. I was like, wind monk. I don't know the 4 elements very well, but it sounds cool.
yeah. So my elemental monk was actually a changeling sorcerer.
That
the
was
whole
really
time.
cool. That's actually super dope. Well done.
You guys caught on a little bit here and there, which
I mean, it's gonna
expected it.
slip. Yeah.
yeah. But it will
That's
be
good.
interesting to see some of the fallout of
Yeah.
a lot of
'Cause-
the lies that I've been
Yeah.
making.
Yes. Oh God. I'm excited. There's
I think I have a list of lies.
There's
honestly.
the coolest part about that though is that now we have a party with somebody who's native to the plane with a group that's not, and I think that that becomes your
Like dynamic.
viewport of the world, because now he'll be able to share some knowledge that you won't need Jara for, who has been doing the overview of the narration, right?
Dara can go suck a big
I
one.
think this occurred to me just now. I'm saying this because it's been a while since our campaign, but don't we still have a bag of holding with a demon-possessed shield?
No.
Yeah.
You were carrying it.
I thought you had to give that up to get in the portal to Avernus.
Nope.
Remember?
I don't remember.
We
either.
sure did not. We were gonna
Gar-
use it as a bartering chip.
That's right.
Rosario.
Garwin probably knows. He just listened to all that stuff.
Remember,
Garwin.
Merle's trying to research the shield to figure out
A
how
whole
to imprison
new-
Zariel inside the shield, make it swap places.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's our
Holy
new
God.
plan because I took the holy sword and made it unholy.
Yes, I do remember now. All right, so Garwin in the chat says, as a viewer, I quite enjoyed watching this live. My favorite part was probably the logic loops and leaps Garmore had to go through to figure drawing a blade on a soldier.
That's a good idea.
I think I saw his brain break. All
Garwin
right.
then
said yes, we do.
I
still
had
have
to
it.
hold in the information that I know he's an Orzhov spy that snuck into the city, and we can't just outright kill him, but I want him to die anyway, but I can't say anything. So it's going to be fun to have a totally different dynamic now to play with.
Yeah, that was like, I was like, how do I stop this situation that I am currently being a part of? Because holy shit, one of the fucking players is trying to kill someone in broad daylight.
Surrounded by
You
his
could have
allies.
diffused the situation if you had just translated that information that he claimed.
But then they would have thought we were the plague bears. That doesn't work.
Yeah,
You
you
lose
can't let
either
them know that we're...
Yeah, like what
Israel
you
is
just
bringing
said
the plague
would have
to
gotten
the city.
all of us killed. All of us would have died right there because they would have just been like, time to
Exactly.
get rid
You
of
can't just
everybody.
say that.
You can't just. That'd be like what? This is very topical, but that would have been like if when the fucking COVID came in here and everyone was like, "Oh, better stay away from." It's so dumb.
It was so
For
hard
these-
to stay in character and not say, "Hey, let's not say we're spreading a disease through the city."
Yeah, like I was like, I am so glad you cannot speak their language right now because we'd all be dead.
So, actually, Garwin made a good point earlier, and I read it, but I didn't actually. So the city, the disease was assumed to come from the native bug people, right?
Golgari?
The Golgari,
Yeah.
using their blood and stuff. But it was actually, and I want to make sure the viewer knows this, it was actually because they started mixing it with other stuff to build the walls out of it, is where it actually came from. So trying to make a mortar out of it is what actually is why I came up with the idea.
Oh boy,
So, anyways,
we caused a
No,
plague.
girl.
yeah, right. Merle,
In Coastal Academy, playing human artificer artillerist who caused a plague and didn't know it apparently. So
Yeah, really, you caused the bubonic plague, buddy.
still does not know that in character.
no,
so...
your character doesn't know that, but I wanted to address Garwin's question.
That's funny.
Anyways, so that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this game. Hopefully you'll join us for our next episode in 2 weeks.
Did we do everybody's outro?
Nope.
Did I miss somebody?
Hey, me. What do you know?
Oh,
I
sorry.
leave the show for a
And I
couple
forget who
weeks
you
and I
are.
just, I'm no longer here, guys.
sorry, Austin.
No, you're good. You're good. Hey guys, I'm Austin. I used to be a co-host at Criticami, but due to life, that's not really a thing. For now, man, my fucking camera just fucking. Hello, thank you. But my favorite part was when they dropped the big ball of
Dark energy.
Doom.
Necromantic power.
Yeah, and because I am an Azamar, I kind of quite literally just stuck my hand out in front and just took no damage from it. I took 9 damage. Everyone else took like
You
30
did it.
something.
I took 38. Man.
Yeah, 38 damage,
That's
and
fucking
I
hard.
am able to just like do the whole anime character thing where like I'm too powerful for this.
That
and just
explosion
splits aside
dropped
me.
my character from 80 to 33 at that point.
Cannot relate.
I have a freaking tank with the extra hit points with wild shape for crying out loud.
Like honestly, like I even if it was like lightning damage, I was supposed to do like 10d8. I would have just absorbed elements and still would have taken probably a fourth of the damage. So like I just big AOE doom moves like that just don't take me down. It feels great.
Yeah, tell me about it. Sorcerers getting pinned under elephant tusks? Not
Yeah.
great for their health.
See, like I thought you were an actual monk, so I thought you had it. I was like, oh, you'll get out.
So did I.
It sucked. It was very bad.
I was like, oh, he's gonna be totally good. He'll just like
Oh
flip
my
kick
God.
out or whatever.
Oh my god, you guys! I'm
So
crying
now that I
'cause
know
I'm
you're a
laughing so
sorcerer, I
hard.
would have definitely been there a little bit quicker. I would have been
Yeah.
like, oh, because like I have void slip, so like I could have switched places with you, but I'm like, oh, you're like a monk. Who cares? You'll just
It'll
fucking,
be all
you'll
right.
get out.
He's
Yeah,
not Osif. He's fine.
yeah. And next thing you know,
Oh
you're
my
like,
God.
help me. I'm like, well, what? You're good. I'm super
All right, so
so good. I could have saved you so much damage.
my favorite
Oh,
part, I have
That's
to
so
say, the sword incident, that was awesome. It was such a blast. I'm just
Just-
like, wow, this is going a way I didn't expect of all the things.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna help the man. I'm gonna.
Cure him
Like-
with lesser restoration.
Yeah, I thought for sure like you were just gonna be like, well, I'd rather not see him die. But no, you were just straight like, it's murder time. He has to go.
Like I expect that from Zorax, but Garmor is usually like so nice and reserved, and like you got to get that sword out of here, man. It's affecting Garmor.
Yeah, I was like,
It was
wow.
great. All right,
Holy
I think
shit.
I think that'll do it for the show.
That was good.
I would like to give a huge shout out to Garwin. He is our first Emerald patron, so I'm excited to be running a game for him at the end of the month. So hopefully he likes what he's seeing and is looking forward to
Apparently
our
he does
game,
because he keeps
so.
being here. So I'm glad we
Yeah.
can be cool.
All right. I am Justin, the Dungeon Master and the host of the podcast and D&D talk show, radio show, Crit Academy.
podcast.
Show.
Please join us every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. This week, we're going to be talking grit and glory and special variant rules to run a gritty, and deadly D&D game, but not take the fun out of it. So, please come
I'm
join
sure
us.
the Avernus book is probably good of ideas too. It has a
No,
lot
I
of
wanna-
alternative rules.
I want to get the Out of the Abyss. I heard that's got some good stuff in it. So,
I've heard that too, actually. Yeah.
dude, Gara, it's 3 a.m. Why are you up?
What?
It's
Hey,
only
man.
like 11 p.m. here, apparently. Well, I appreciate your dedication.
I've been up since like 4 a.m. before. He's good.
Yeah, right. All right. We'll see you guys later.